I mean, you look, and it's not just the 49ers. Obviously, they're affected this year. They played in the toughest division in football. They came in third. But you've got the Bears are a higher seed. The 49ers beat the Bears. 49ers had a better record than the Bears. Bears are a higher seed. 49ers had a better record than the Eagles, who they play this week. The Eagles are a higher seed. 49ers beat Carolina. Carolina is a higher seed. 49ers had a better record. And we've got to change that, Jay. You know, like even in the AFC, just to explain and to make clear, this isn't just a, oh, poor 49ers thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the 4 seed in the AFC ahead of D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans. That's I think the NBA is finally getting away from that. It's stupid. There's just no reason to do it, and it throws things off here.
Yeah. For people that's asking, YouTube, it's been loading, tech difficulties. YouTube, for us, they must not want us to be back at work as well. So hopefully it's went live.
Thank you for pointing that out.
But anyway, that out here.
Yeah, just as I look at it and you figure how well the 49ers played in 6 seed. So, Jay, it's the Eagles week. Here we go.
Yep.
And Draper's supposed to come on today?
He is, but I can cancel him if you want me to.
Nah.
Okay.
We gotta just look into the eye of danger right here.
Ain't nobody scared of Draper.
Head on, yeah.
Draper
Draper.
He don't even believe in his own team. I ain't heard from Draper. I done talked to Draper every week 2 or 3 times, connect with my boy for lunch and everything else.
Yeah.
He ain't talked about the Eagles. He talked about everything but the Eagles.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, he wants to talk about the Eagles.
Fly.
Please, he don't want to talk about the Eagles. I'm not even going to let him talk about them today. If he does, I'm cutting his mic, Whitey.
All right. I like that.
Yep.
Now, I know you pointed out on our text thread Saturday that you thought it was disrespectful the way the Seahawks went for it on 4th down their first possession.
Yeah.
And clearly they did not have a ton of respect for the 49ers on that night. Is it also disrespectful to the 49ers the way the Eagles played yesterday and ended up avoiding a higher seed and getting the 49ers? Matt Mayoko says, yeah, they wanted the Niners. I watched yesterday on the Red Zone channel. It's pretty clear to me. They lost to Josh Johnson. The Eagles wanted the 49ers. Now they're going to get the 49ers.
Absolutely. I think it's disrespectful in both ways. Yeah, the way the Seattle went about the game as if they came into Santa Clara and said, we have no respect for who you're putting on the field. Absolutely nobody on the defensive side. And you can definitely see they respected the offense to such a high level that they were more pumped up than the 49ers. It just felt that way. It looked that way. Richard Sherman's talked about it. Guys on the 49ers, so I don't need anybody to say, oh, well, that's not it. They said themselves, the 49ers, they were playing at a faster pace. They wanted it more, and that could be just, talking out the side of your neck, but I take it for face value.
Yeah.
Same thing, 100%. The Eagles are basically saying, look, we believe the Packers may have a better opportunity in beating us, and we want to play the 49ers. And truly, I think it's the fact of you look at the deficiencies and the positives that the Eagles bring to the table. Their defense is their stronghold. They believe they can shut down the 49ers, I would imagine, to a certain extent. And their offense is like, look, we know we're terrible, but you guys are a little more terrible on the opposite side. Especially looking at Saturday night, you can definitely tell the Eagles are like, we'll take you guys.
I know the 49ers only gave up 13 points. Obviously, the Seahawks left, not anywhere from 9 to 13 points out there.
Easy field goals.
Missed field goals in that first drive. They could have kicked a field goal. But be that as it may, I thought before the game, I would have thought that, wow, if Seattle only scores 13, they're going to get boat raced. So I was a little surprised at the final score. I was surprised at the 49er offense. And I know they had, they really missed Trent Williams. But I thought they were going to have more than 3 points in them, Jay.
I did too. I truly did too. I'm with you. But I think it's, right team, right moment. And going into the playoffs, if you're looking at the positive, you're hoping that loss teaches you something and have the understanding that, because the one thing about this, Whitey, you tell me if you disagree, a lot of the 49ers who were on the field haven't been in this position just yet at a high level. You look across the defense, I mean, you could probably count on one hand of the people that played on that field Saturday that have been in the position of tough game, trying to seal a deal, playoff mentality, playoff atmosphere, the pressure is on you just as much as it is on the other squad. And when you really sit down and look at it, I'm hoping they take it as a educating, loss. Again, no one is here saying, at least for me, I don't believe the 49ers have Super Bowl capability. I've been saying that since the beginning. I go back to Kyle Shanahan. We talk about it here on the show, right? He said it in the beginning of the season. Look, we hopefully can get better on the defensive side that'll take us to the playoffs. We're here now. We'll see.
I know, but it's amazing how disappointing it seems. Like, after that loss, they're going to the playoffs. Yeah. After the season they've had, and we talked about how, hey, you make the playoffs, that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. But after that loss, it felt like a letdown. And I know that Joe Buck said, Kyle Shanahan told him, this game, the game Saturday that is, in some ways is more important than the next one. Well, they lost that one, so now what? I think the game Saturday in some ways was Kyle Shanahan's worst nightmare come true in this sense. You know that Kyle Shanahan is a big scheme guy. He's an offensive genius. And I think on some level he believes or wants to believe that, you know what? It doesn't matter who's out there. My schemes will find a way to win a game. And in that game Saturday, it's like, it didn't matter.
Nope.
Your scheme is not going to matter because they were overmatched physically at so many important positions.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, I'm not listening to anything Joe Buck got to say.
Why is that?
Let's start there.
Okay.
Yeah, because he ain't rocking with the Niners anyway, so I ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
But if we're talking
about...
who's
really not rocking with the Niners is Troy Aikman.
Well, yeah, he shouldn't be.
Right.
And we ain't rocking with him.
Yeah, I saw somewhere he and Jerry Rice had a kind of an awkward moment on the field or something.
Well, that's because Long Grain pulls out the rings at all points and times, right? He's got his jewelry case he runs around with. Yeah. And that is the good old days.
Right.
I'm not comparing it to this year right now because we don't have to get to the generational argument, but that's the good old days. I will never like you on or off the field enough for me to come over and dap you up and talk family and talk about our car dealerships and everything. No.
It's almost a form of respect.
Truth.
The fact that I don't like you, I didn't like you then, I'm never going to like you.
Yeah, it's, hey, hello, salute, good, okay, cool, moving on.
Yeah.
Business relationship, right? And so I respect that. And I wish some of the team, 49ers, would be like that a little more, but we don't have that. I see guys helping other team guys on the floor, and you're pulling them up, you're helping them up. What?
Hey, you okay? Can I get you anything?
Yeah. Let me call my trainer. Hey, he needs you. Have you ever seen that before? Because it happens.
Really?
Every now and then. Yeah, it happens. We probably as onlookers and fans don't pay attention enough, but it's something that I've always looked at where someone will get hurt and the other team's trainer will come.
No, I can't say I've noticed
Really? That. Yeah, it happens in football quite a bit too. Yeah, it's interesting.
If the trainer does it, that's cool, but if if the player on the other team does it, I don't know.
Man,
they all look out for each other.
It definitely happens in the NBA way more now where other guys are pulling up other players from other teams.
I agree. Yeah, I have noticed that.
Man, please. I'm standing over him. Get up, big dog. But I think
there's a famous story of that, pardon me, but Eric Wright, I think it was talking about one time they're playing some game and he gets clocked and he's down. And I don't know if he got the wind knocked out of him, and a guy stands over him, and it's Ronnie Lott. And you know what Ronnie Lott says? Get up! Because, you don't show any weakness.
Right.
You get your ass up.
That's right.
I don't care what's wrong with you. You don't lay on the ground. That's his teammate.
And I'm not helping you.
Right.
Get up.
Yeah.
Find a way to get up. I don't care if your clavicle is out your chest.
Yeah.
Find a way to get up.
We'll find you another clavicle, but get up.
At least make it to the sideline.
Yes.
Yeah. Different times. And I'm not saying that's correct because that's a little over the top, but there has to be, a gray area for me. Yeah, it kills me with some of these players nowadays. Going back to the schemes, I thought truly, I can't remember a time lately. Now, it's happened because we've seen it, and Shanahan's been a part of some terrible teams, but I thought Shanahan was outclassed. I really did. I really thought McDonald was in front of him by every single way. If Shanahan had an inkling of doing something, it felt like Mike had an answer quicker than he even thought.
Can I ask you a question about that? I think there was one play that when I first saw it, I thought that, and then when I look back on it, I'm not sure.
Okay.
So it goes right to your point. It was the 3rd and 1 where Brock Purdy ended up throwing it out to like the safety valve, and it was incomplete toward the marker.
Okay.
But if you look at it, and I just saw this today, and Kyle Shanahan talked about it, he said Kittle was wide open. But
pressure.
And they only sent 4, and the offensive line collapsed. Yeah. So when I first saw that, I think Rod Brooks or somebody on Twitter said, that's a terrible call, and that's what I thought. But now it's like, well, I don't know. So was it the X's and O's or the Jimmies and the Joes?
Well, it's a combination of both, right? As I always say, there's 3 sides to every story. It's not all on Kyle Shanahan, but I'm just saying from my eyes, from my point of view, I thought with the deficiencies, because the one thing we have to do, and this is even difficult to do as a 49er fan, would you agree or not agree? We understand that this team has been deficient all season.
Yeah.
And so we can only grade this team by the deficiencies that they have, right?
Right.
So with that all being said, we know they're injured. And this is the cold part. We'll talk to Draper. Draper ain't gonna say, we beat you guys because you guys were injured. No, we beat you, the 49ers, Shanahan, the mastermind, John Lynch, Brock Purdy, the savior. That's what they're gonna talk about, right? So we have to grade this team knowing this team is probably a C average team.
You're playing the game. We're not going to assume what you would have been if somebody else was there.
Very true.
Because they ain't.
They're not there.
In other words, get up.
Get up.
Yeah.
They're not coming through that door, right? As they say. They ain't not coming through that door. So,
although Warner might.
We'll talk about that. We'll see. But I only grade Shanahan for what he had, and also recency bias, what he was able to accomplish over these last 6, 7, 8 weeks, and really throughout this season. This is a man that's been vying for Coach of the Year by many different, accounts, by many different people. And so I just really thought if there's any time, Whitey, and it's just me, to be the boy genius, to be the wonder that everybody has talked about, you got to do something a little different. Mm-hmm. And also, this is the one thing, and shouts out to TC, because TC would say this, understanding, people talk about it all the time. The one thing that I truly have a problem with Shanahan is his adjustments are terrible. They are terrible.
I think sometimes that stubbornness shows through.
It is.
There was one of the, I think it was a 4th and 1, they decided not to go for it, and Purdy was on the field, and you could see him mouth, wow. And I think he was surprised, like, we're not going for it? Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, a little too conservative at times.
It is.
Yeah.
And that could be because you don't have your horses. You're playing with a few donkeys out there. But still, Whitey, if there's any time, because I'm a firm believer of this too. Throughout the season, players probably win 90 to 95% of the games. The snaps, the quarters, the halves. But every now and then, and we can go back to the Sean Payton, onside kick and Dan Marino pump fake on the spike. Things happen. You have to make adjustments. And I just don't never see it with Shanahan. And one of the biggest gripes I ever have is his offense looks the same all the time. There's never no pace. He never changes the pace.
Yeah, that was something I saw on X. Somebody was suggesting it's time to go.
You got to
go. Pick up the pace. Pick up the tempo.
You got, and even
whether that's no huddle, I don't know. But and they did on the drive where they ended up in the fumble. They got a little more pace going.
And that's the thing. That's the one time you could see something different. And even look at the Brian Baldingers, the Ross Tuckers over the world, and just trust your eyes. I went back and watched the game twice. From the beginning, you could see the Seahawks packing the middle and saying, we dare DeMarcus Robinson to beat us. Mm-hmm. We dare somebody who just bought a Rolls Royce, Kendrick Bourne, to beat us on the outside. We dare Jawan Jennings to be trying to do all that talking and beat us on the outside. And guess what? It wasn't happening. And the time that they chose to call plays or attack the outside, which is the one drive that ended in a fumble, or the pick, right?
Yeah, I said fumble, but you're right.
That's the one time what happened. They attacked the markers. They weren't playing for the inside. They weren't trying to go against somebody that was impacted throughout the middle. The Seahawks dared them to do it. Remember? And they also dared them, hey, take the West Coast O. Take the 4 yards, the 3 yards in the cloud of smoke. cloud of dust and take us all the way down to the end zone. They wouldn't do it.
I think it's a great point. Earlier in the year when the ground attack just ground to a halt, there was some games, especially when Mac Jones was playing quarterback, which the 49ers basically went West Coast offense, where the short passing game became the substitute for the running game. Then I know against the Bears in recent weeks, the running game has gotten going a little bit. I thought Shanahan stuck with the running game too long this week, where he should have realized it ain't there for whatever reason, whether it's, no Trent or the way they're playing us. And then I thought on that drive, it looked like they finally decided, all right, we just got to throw it.
Yep.
But I thought that maybe they were a little too late to come to that realization.
I hadn't thought about that because I felt like the run game wasn't utilized that much. Looking at how many carries were there. But that's a good observation. Maybe I need to
McCaffrey was
check
just
that.
Nothing there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing there.
And sometimes it takes, instead of agility, sometimes it takes brute force. And that's my point. I mean, again, we've been talking about it all season. Isaac Guerrero was a healthy scratch yet again.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me somebody that has blazing speed.
He didn't have a carry all year.
No. Who gets on the outside, maybe couldn't beat this defense on the outside? How about a pickup of a Jacob Cowing? How about something a little different than what we're used to? And the easiest thing that people, again, I just go back to pace. His offense is paced at the same time every game. If there's any time, one time all season, one time, I dare a 49er fan to tell me outside of a 2-minute conversation, not even a 4-minute offense, because in their 4-minute offenses, they still huddle up, take the banana YZ gap, all that type of stuff. One time all season, you could have just said, you know what? It ain't working. I'm going to switch the pace and let's see what happens. I'm going to bring in Brian B-Rob and see if brute force wins instead of McCaffrey. You know what I'm going to do? Maybe I'm going to get on the phone with my pops and say, how about we run a little West Coast O? Not, where's the adjustments? One time all season, Whitey, just once.
I would like to see him go no huddle, but I don't know if that's even,
That's not even in their cards, man.
Yeah, that's
Video
in the
game
playbook.
stuff.
So what do they have to do to have a chance to be competitive with the Eagles? You want to say, well, you got to run the ball and stop the run. I don't know if they can do either of those things. They have to do a better job stopping the run than they did against Seattle.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Run the ball, and that's what's so frustrating, because that's the tenets of this offense that the 49ers run, not just the offense, but the whole scheme. What do? We run the ball, we stop the run. That's what Seattle did. The 49ers right now, I don't know that they're capable of doing that.
Who's playing linebacker for the 49ers?
Kyle Ledbetter.
There you go. Kyle, are you a Mike, a Sam, a middle, or left outside? What linebacker position you play? Middle linebacker. Okay. He's the middle.
All right.
So that means he's going to have the green dot on the helmet. Yes. You're calling out plays this week, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, who is stopping the run on the back side of the 7?
And you know what, Jay? Sometimes it comes down to the most basic things. Sometimes in a basketball game, for all the talk of, you got to play the pick and roll this way, you got to ice the pick and roll, you got to spray threes, you got to get paint touches. Sometimes it comes down to you didn't make your free throws.
Yeah.
And sometimes in football, it comes down to you missed too many tackles.
Oof.
The 49ers are missing an incredible number of tackles. And maybe that's because they played 3 games in 18 days or whatever it is. And I know that's a lot.
Yeah.
But my goodness, they miss a lot of tackles.
Did you see, do you watch the post game? Do you ever watch Rod?
I watched a little bit of him. I don't always, but I did this week.
He said 16 missed tackles.
Woo!
16 missed tackles. And he also said, meaning Rod, friend of the show, will be on this week, said that in the last 3 weeks combined, the 49ers missed 15 tackles.
Yeah.
So they missed more tackles in one game than they did last 3 weeks. That's no D winners. That's
Right.
Tatum Bethune off the field.
Yeah.
That's Renardo Green. And
I think
also,
Bethune missed a lot of tackles
yeah,
this
he
week
did.
himself.
He definitely did. The other thing, too, and, Dante Whitner has talked about this for the last 2 or 3 weeks on Rod and Dante and Patrick Willis, friend of the show, all of them friend of the show, how bad Jair Brown, his angles to the ball have been. And how bad Malik Mustafa and Jair Brown have been in pass coverage. Just they play well 70, 75% of the time. and then 25% on that backside. There's just something's not meshing. It's really not.
Better start meshing soon. We're back with more on that also. Oh, this will be fun, how this season compares to the sorriest seasons of the Kings past. Happy New Year. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
It's Wonderful Wednesdays at Roosters. Starting at 5 p.m., all-you-can-eat enchiladas for $21.99. 12 incredible styles. How many can you handle? Come set the record. The meal's on them. Wonderful Wednesdays, only at Roosters on the River.
Sometimes you need country music.
If I'm the problem.
Next time you have that feeling, check out New Country 105.1 KNCI, where you have 4 opportunities each weekday to win $1,000 and double your paycheck. New Country for Sacramento, 105.1 KNCI.
Milwaukee just has to get it across the midcourt line. They do so. And the final score is going to be 115-98, unless something most unusual happens in the last 10 seconds of this one. Kings slide continues. They came into this game with the worst start through 35 games since the Kings have been in Sacramento. Tied for the worst start. Well, now they absorb another loss. It is over.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Wow. It just breaks my heart to hear the G-Man talking that way. We were just talking about the 49ers. We'll get to the Kings in just a moment. Jay, I had missed this in the last 10 seconds. I happened to look up here at one of our monitors. ESPN had this on the scroll. Tatum Bethune's out for the season with a torn groin?
Yeah.
So, that linebacker situation more dire by the day, it seems, for the 49ers.
Yeah, it looks like E. Kendricks, will be there probably. Long time linebacker in the league.
Didn't he used to be in the Temptations or something?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did, actually.
Okay.
Eddie Kendricks, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, house money, man. Truly. The 49ers are playing with house money. And, hey, listen, one thing about it, Whitey, is when you're on the top, you have bragging rights. They've been right there at the precipice and just couldn't break through, couldn't win the Super Bowl. So when you're gonna take the L's and when you have honestly, this is the crazy part. Making the playoffs isn't a down season. It's just recency bias over the last handful of years. 49er fans are looking for the Super Bowl push. Where in reality, if everybody was healthy, this team still probably would be right about where they were.
The one thing I would say, I agree with everything you said, and a lot of it, of course, is unknowable. But I do think, looking back, they should have done more to upgrade the pass rush at the deadline. And maybe it wouldn't have worked. Maybe if they got Hendrickson from Cincinnati, I think he got hurt. So you never know. They might have gotten somebody and it wouldn't have worked, but I think they should have done something more. It would have been a lot nicer facing some of these, win-or-go-home games here, at least the next one is, and have at least a semblance of a pass rush.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think even if you just went and got somebody, a saber-toothed tiger, somebody a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Just a Matthew Judon.
Yeah.
Something of that nature, just to make you feel a little bit better.
Right.
But in reality, the fact of the matter is the 49ers are an above-average team, not a great team, a good team. I think they've outplayed everything that coming into the season. And this ain't a dire note. You still in the big dance. You still have opportunity. And I'll quiet as kept, I'll tell you like this, the Eagles ain't scaring nobody.
There we go.
That offense is terrible. That offense is terrible. I don't care if Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and everybody else, Big Dom could be on the O-line. That offense is terrible. It's going to be a shootout. It should be. I don't know if the Eagles can keep up, and I'm not that scared of their defense. I think Seattle has a better defense, and they play the Niners, more often, so they're a little more familiar. And I think the one thing that Seattle has, to me, that for the most part Philly doesn't have, I don't respect their D-line as much as I respect Seattle's. That's just me.
Yeah,
just me.
Yeah, they're not what they were defensively, as because we've talked about it. The one guy in their defense that really frightens me is Fangio, but we'll see. I think that's a great matchup, as I said with Allen on the crossover. Big Fangio against Kyle Shanahan. That is going to be fun. So the 49ers going to the playoffs. The Kings are probably not going to the playoffs. That's right. I said it.
What did the G-Man say at the end? Unless something, what did he say? He said something at the end of that clip, unless something weirdly happens.
Yeah. So how does this season compare to sorry seasons of the Kings past? Frankie broke this down at SactownSports.com.
Who?
Frankie Cardicelli.
The T-ball player.
I don't want to swing. Frankie, I don't really want to take a full swing.
Come on, Frankie.
I'm getting another call. Cardicelli.
For anybody, but sorry, I'm getting another call.
The Kings kept pace with the 2008-09 and 2010-11 teams for the worst 36-game start to a season in the Sacramento era, dropping their fifth straight contest. Here's the thing, Jay, that makes this year so frustrating for fans. And I will say, I was out there with Sheena. We went out there on New Year's Day.
You attended the game?
When they played Boston.
That a boy?
Yeah. And fans are doing their part. there's a ton of Boston fans in there, and it was not a full house. Last night was not a full house. I wasn't out there, but you could see not a full house. But the fans who are going, I think they're doing a really good job. The atmosphere that they're bringing, even though it's not full, I applaud the fans, especially given that it's so confusing right now, because we fell into this trap a little bit in the Celtics game. You watch the game, Jay, and you're watching it, and you want to talk about how, I don't know why Coach Christie didn't put that guy in, or I don't know why they're not doing this. Then you realize it's different. They're not as an organization right now. To an extent, you've got a coach with his hands tied behind his back because the organization is not winning these games is not the most important thing. And I understand that, but when you're looking at games as a fan and trying to, evaluate performances and break them down, it's just confusing because it's like, why'd they do that? I don't know. Yeah. There might be a reason that they're not going to tell us. We just have to figure out because you're trying to showcase a guy or, it's hard as a fan. No
rhythm and rhyme.
Yeah. What are we rooting for exactly? It's hard.
Yeah, the unfortunately the organization hasn't come out and said what their what the plans are, and more times than not, Whitey, and shouts out to Scott Perry first of all because I saw him do another piece while we were gone.
Right.
He one thing about Scott Perry is,
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Mark Spears,
he
is accessible. He is not shying away from having conversations. Now, what he says. That's to the eye of the beholder or the reader or the listener.
He says the same thing every time, which is I'll give him credit for being consistent with his messaging. But it's like, okay, I've heard that already. I understand it. I understand. Right. It's really important that they get that message out. Prudent, opportunistic, no shortcuts. I understand all that. And I know right now it's really important to remind people, this doesn't look good, but this is what we're doing. He's got a hard job too right now.
Yeah, he definitely does. You have to be consistent about what you're saying.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you have to be honest. You have to make sure that you're not self-serving because the one thing about it is I think more now than ever, fans, onlookers, you say one thing and do something different. Off with your head, you know?
Yeah.
And we saw Coach Christie, a lot of people talking about, well, you're talking about defense, but you're not playing Keon. And I think that's exactly what you're saying is
yes.
He's not the puppeteer.
Right.
He's not the maestro. You know?
Right.
There's someone that's above him. Geppetto, he still got some, you have to serve another master. And so, unfortunately, that's where we're at with this team. Nothing seems to make sense. Very rarely, and when it does, it's like, okay, I see it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, twist of a dime, it's like, what happened?
Yes.
That was just making sense. Now it's not.
Yeah, because you have your matrix. This is what I want from a basketball team. This is how I evaluate their performance. And you take that and you look at where are the Kings this year. And then you put that on them. It's like, whoa, no, something's not making sense.
Yeah.
Because they're not trying to do the things as an organization right now that you would expect a team to be doing. I'm not criticizing them. It just speaks to the fact that they're in that rebuilding phase right now.
Yeah.
Frustrating from a fan standpoint.
Everything is not, there's no clarity.
Yeah.
There really is. There really is not. And the toughest thing as a fan, you look at it, we all want to pull strings and you say, just spin this person or sit this person. It's not that easy. Truly is not that easy. And let me give some credit to Coach Christie.
Yes.
Because so many people have talked about starting this person, pulling that person, have them sit at, this person shouldn't start, that person should start. Man, he's had so many. I've lost track. At one point in time, I'd remembered the number. Bad job by me. But at this point, I'm checked out on how many starting lineups he's making. He has tried everything. So all that, well, he's not trying this or this person ain't played. And let me also say this. Truly, honestly, this isn't a dig at any player over there. We don't have a person that is night in and night out, minus maybe one or two people, and you can call the names out, meaning listeners, you can call it out, viewers. But in reality, every night there's only 1 to 2 people who have a good game for this team. That tells me the rest of the 13 others, the 12 others, or however you want to count, they're having not so good night, off nights, below average nights. We can quit all that. Well, he's got to play. He needs to play.
Yeah.
He should be playing.
Right.
This guy needs to start. That's out the door now. I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah.
Everybody's had an opportunity to play. Ain't nobody put up 50 points over there.
Yep.
Ain't nobody averaging 30. Ain't nobody at this level right now an all-star.
Somebody scores 21 with 7 rebounds. We're ready to throw a parade for him, Jay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get over that.
Yeah.
So I hate that we're there, but we are there. It's reality.
Yes.
It truly is, though.
Where does it go from here? It may not be going where we want it to go, and we're back with that next. So don't go away. Drive, guys.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely, and you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Jay, what do you think of the news out of Las Vegas? Pete Carroll, done. Gone as coach of the Raiders.
Bye-bye. I like Pete Carroll, man. I
do too.
I do. I like Pete.
I think he realized about halfway through this thing, and I think he even said it, that while he expected, I'll get in there and turn this thing around, about halfway through he realized, ooh, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. The Raiders are kind of on a path of, and this is scary. This is what I hate, the correlation, and I'm pushing the narrative here a little bit, but the correlation of how the Raiders season went, man, it feels awfully close to the Kings.
Oh.
It does, man. Like, it truly does.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the Kings would end up with the number one pick, which is what I think, I gladly that the Raiders do. I'm glad because I think they're going to take Mendoza unless Dante Moore just comes out and does what he does. But I think Moore is a better quarterback than Mendoza. So I'm hoping, here goes my hate now, here goes my jab. It's for all the Raider fans, here we go. You could jab at me after the 49ers lose in the playoffs, if they do. I think Mendoza's going to go to the Raiders, and I don't think he's going to be that good. I think he's going to be average.
He's a jab, mamma.
Yes.
That's what Jay is,
yes.
jab, mamma.
I'm throwing the jabs, baby. But no, I kid with that in the fact that I am a Pete Carroll guy as much as he's a Seahawks guy. I liked Pete Carroll at USC. The bravado, what he brought to the game of college football, his teams. I thought how he handled USC during his time it's kind of like the Beatles, man. Like that. If I was to play college football, that's the way I'm trying to go out. Now, you could talk about Reggie Bush taking money and all that good jazz, but just the good feels and the vibes, and that's where I look at Pete Carroll. It's football, NFL, champion. Couldn't help the Raiders, but I don't think anybody can. What's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are he's got Northern California roots. He's got 49er roots, and I think that explains that. Yeah, but as far as the Raiders go, it's interesting to me that top 3 teams in the draft, I know we could have trades or something.
Sure.
They probably all need quarterbacks, and I don't know that it's going to be a real quarterback-rich draft, Jay.
Well, it sounds like it's a 2-man run, depending on if anybody else comes out. And that's why I believe, it's a lot of people are putting – and I don't want him to fail. I'm just saying from a standpoint of an analysis, I don't think Mendoza's going to be that good.
Yeah.
I think if you compare him to some of the other quarterbacks that we've seen come into the league as of late, he'd be way down on the marker for me.
Arizona has one of the top picks. They probably need a quarterback depending on what they decide to do. And I mention that because Cliff Kingsbury, who did a pretty good job there at times with Kyler Murray, I've seen him mentioned as a possible Raiders candidate. And I'm thinking, nope. He's not a guy you want as your head coach.
Yeah, I mean, he might not even keep his job as the OC right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where the Raiders are going to go. I know they're paying a lot of coaches. They're paying a lot of money to a lot of different people. I was surprised that they didn't get rid of their general manager, though. And we know he has some Patriot vibes. I've heard, people talk about bringing a Belichick or some type of Patriot.
Tommy's going to be very involved in this
decision. Yeah.
Brian Flores maybe.
Should. Now, I'm hoping they don't get B-Flow because I think he is a mastermind defensively. Now, what he who he brings with him, that's to be determined. But I think if you give him an opportunity, a second go-around, which he didn't do bad the first time. He didn't do great, but he didn't do bad.
Right. He had some success.
Yeah, we'll see how, he's the person that scares me. And I don't want the Raiders to ever be good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they don't go B-Flow's way.
At first I was thinking, well, the quarterback is so important to their future. They got to have a head coach in there that can help the quarterback develop, and you got to have that quarterback coach combo. But you don't, right? If you have an offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, whomever, who can work and develop your quarterback, and your head coach is like, that's cool, you do that, but I'm going to develop the defense, that could work as well.
Yeah, I think so, man. Mm-hmm. And I think, and you know this, Whitey, you have great experience, and you could probably give me, I know you could, not probably, you could give me so many different pointers in life of where you tried something the first time and it didn't really work out the best way or the way that you thought going into, and then you were blessed to have a second opportunity and you approached it or did something a little different and it worked a little better, right? And so that's my thing with B. Flo is he is so dominant on one side of the ball as a mastermind defensively. As much as Shanahan is considered, the boy genius when it comes to offense, I think a lot of people see him that way when it comes defense. And so I'm just hoping the Raiders don't luck up and find themselves someone that's pretty good. Because, again, I'm a Raider hater.
Bring back Josh Daniels.
Oh, yes.
Tom Brady, go back to your Patriot roots and bring him back. Give him another try.
I'm sign me up for that experience right now.
We were just talking about the frustration of Kings fans. We have this from Dennis in Stockton. The frustration with all this is that we know at this point they're in a rebuild tank mode, but they cannot come out and just tell everybody that. So what we have to do is listen to the coach and GM media speak. As a lifelong fan of the Kings, I would much rather them just tell me we're rebuilding and that they need us to be patient. I think that's what Scott Perry is doing to the extent that he can. If you look at the interviews, that is one of the messages. There's a handful of things that he says every time, and I commend him. I know it's like we've heard that, but he has to be consistent with his messaging. And he talks about rebuild. We're trying to establish something. There are no shortcuts. So he's telling us, we are in a rebuild, and it might take a while.
Yeah, I like where Dennis is coming from, though. I've been the one that's kind of said, and I agree with what you said, Whitey. He is doing it his own way. He is sounding the alarm, to the best of his ability without coming out and say, hey, we're all chips are pushed into the middle and take anything that you want. It's a grab bag. Mm-hmm. It's a community closet. Come and fleece us for anybody that you want. He can't do that. But I do feel what Dennis is saying, and I'll just take a step back and I'll push a little bit further for Dennis, but I'll take a step back in this form of this. I've kind of been the guy that says this organization has to come out and tell us that. Because how many times have we heard, Coach Doug is not pulling the strings. Coach Bobby Jackson or Coach Woody is not pulling the strings. Scott Perry may be having some of his business meddled with. I think the organization has to come out and tell us that. How that happens, that's above my pay grade. I'm not asked to do that. I'm not on PR. I'm not on the marketing team over there. But some kind of way, I truly believe for the betterment and the greater good of everything, because of the history, because of where the Kings find themselves in the last 3 years from the Beam team to now, if anything, this organization has to come together like glue and say, this is what we're doing. And that's where I understand what Dennis is saying is I think as Kings fans, part of the kingdom, we're just a little bit over not having clarity.
Yeah.
And we're hunting and pecking and grabbing and reaching for clarity.
I understand that. I think a great opportunity to reinforce all of that will be if and when they're able to make a trade. If it's a big salary, big name player for any kind of future assets, be that draft picks and or young players, whatever, that is another golden opportunity to explain to everybody, here's why we did this. And this is what we expect from what we have coming back, because this is where we are. The scariest thing, I know Alan was talking about this, and it's something that I'd been thinking about and just trying to keep at bay, and I don't want to address that, but we'll tell you what the scariest thing about this whole season for the Kings is when we come right back. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Lowe's Closeout event is here with the final savings of the season. Grab amazing deals on seasonal decor, tools, flooring, and more before they're gone. Plus, MyLowe's Rewards and MyLowe's Pro Rewards members get free standard shipping. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/7. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Free shipping excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to change. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey.
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITVFest.com.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. We've got more tackle. Grab deep discounts on a huge selection of fishing gear, apparel, and accessories at the giant Fisherman's Warehouse booth. NorCal's largest gathering for anglers, hunters, and off-roading enthusiasts. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 15th through 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Yeah, we're the home of the 49ers. Eric Crocker going to join us bottom of the hour. And we'll also tell you why at least one anonymous NFL executive likes the 49ers over the Eagles this week. So we have that
Anonymous?
coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me try to see if I can find who it is and get them on the show.
All right. We have this from Shams. I know we've been talking about the Kings. And the one aspect of all this right now that I think is, for Kings fans, at least for myself, the scariest possibility here as the deadline approaches. But this is from Shams just in. He says, Trae Young and his agents are working with the franchise on a trade. Sources tell ESPN Young's reps and the Hawks have started collaborative talks over the last week on finding a resolution. Okay, so on the one hand, well, we knew he might be traded, but nothing has happened yet. But now you've got word that his people and the Hawks are working together. Let's see what we can figure out here. I don't think the Kings are going to be involved in this, Jay. My understanding is that Scott Perry is not a huge fan of Trae Young, but looks like there's going to be some kind of Trae Young move in here sooner rather than later. Yeah, and that's cool. I think the NBA at this point, and this was something I was going to ask you today, and we don't have to talk about it now. We can talk about it further. And maybe it's just the fact that the Kings conundrum, but to me, this feels like the quietest NBA. Like, people don't care about the season as much this year for whatever reason. Like, it's just a lot of, banter about it right now. I don't know. Maybe the NFL's still going and college football's at the end. I'm not sure. But, I think, the likes of a Trae Young on the move probably turn up the volume a little bit. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I thought you were going to say it seems like people are not as interested in the deadline. Yeah, we'll see. I know that the summer, there wasn't as much activity as a lot of people expected. But as far as people not getting that wrapped up in the season yet, I think part of it is you got OKC has been the best team. And there was some early talk about they might end up breaking the Warriors record. They lost to Phoenix last night. They're a great team. I don't think they're going to break the Warriors record. So we're, January, February, too, is kind of the dog days. I know that pretty soon here, February, NBC is going to start their big Sunday night NBA packages. We'll see if that might drum up some interest. But yeah, I know what you mean. And maybe it is a lot of it because right now with the Kings, we're just like, just checked out. Yeah. It's a tough watch right now. Oh, yeah, for sure. Trae said Kings have to be the toughest watch in all sports. You just said it. They just simply fade away against the competition, whether it be quarter 1, 2, 3, or 4, first, second, third, or fourth quarter. Agreed. I guess I look at it like this. In the beginning of the season, OKC came out wrecking shop. And we were talking about a record. And for me, that was all the talk. Yeah. And then you also kind of had the LeBron James and the Giannis conversations mixed in. Now, what's the narrative of the league right now? I don't know. It's a good question. Like, OKC's tapped out. San Antonio. By the way, Wemby's birthday is today. You know how old he is? He's 22. 22. Yeah, 22. It seems like he's been playing for half a decade. He has. He's been overseas playing professional for 3 or more prior. So he has been playing for half a decade. But it's this way for me when it comes to the NBA. I don't really know what's the narrative minus I think we're all waiting to see what happens, with a move, a name, or something of that nature. But I don't know what the storyline right now in the NBA is. I think normally Christmas starts and it's like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about in the association? I think part of that is because it's been a down to meh year so far for some of the bigger brands. I know Mike Brown's doing a great job with the Knicks, but the Lakers got off to a good start, but they've kind of they're having problems. Detroit is coming on. Boston is without Tatum, and I know they're playing well. But I think some of the Warriors are kind of I think some of the bigger brand teams are just kind of muddling along here. Got you. It's kind of – and to me, I think that's where OKC is at now. Oh, we couldn't get the record. All right, we'll wait till the playoffs. We'll turn it up. We're going to do our thing. We'll probably finish first, or they will. We'll finish first. And then we'll turn it on. We'll flip the switch, or we'll start the build come at late April, May. We'll move on. But for me, I just don't know what the narrative of what anybody is excited for the NBA. I think it is a lot of it. My guess is a lot of it has to do with the filter that we all see the NBA through here, which is the Kings. And it's like, ooh, that filter needs to be cleaned. Be right. Need to replace that filter. You're very true. Let me ask you. Has college, because I'm more of a college football guy, but I'll always keep my eye on the college hoop. Is college hoop more exciting right now because we're in here in Sacramento and paying attention to the A-Cups of the world and the Michael Browns of the world? Or are there some natural real-life stars coming through the filter? I'm not the one to ask because I'm always NBA first, but I understand your point. And somebody who's more balanced between the two, more objective, might tell you, oh, yeah. I mean, we'll see what and part of that, too, is because of what's going on here, because I'm more interested in the top players since the Kings may have a shot at one. Yeah, I'm about to turn into Jeremy Woo in a minute. I'm literally.
I'm getting ready to be Nathan Grubel. Like, I'm getting ready to start studying some of these college players. For sure for the Kings. But I just feel like the AJs and the Darren Peterson saga going on in Kansas.
You've been on AJ for a while now. I know I've been like, I don't know, Jay. And now it's like, hey, can I get on the bandwagon? Do you have room for me?
Yeah, of course. You're the legend, baby. Anytime. Anytime you want to jump on.
I'm not sure I want to jump off the Peterson bandwagon.
You shouldn't. I think he's going to be a baller, too. I think you might see 2 or 3 or 4 guys become a baller out of this draft. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So the word from Shams is that the Hawks and Trae Young's people are working together. They're collaborating on some kind of deal. So that means, something's almost certainly going to happen at
January 5th. Not to cut you off, I want to make sure I get this in because I saw you getting ready to jump to something. January 5th, 3:07 right now. Is it a no to Trae Young?
Yes.
For Whitey?
Okay. Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I also think no matter how I feel about it, I don't think there's any way the Kings would do it. Could be a misread, but based on what we know about Scott Perry and how they feel about Trae Young, I just don't think they have interest.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I think on the second part, I'd be interested in Trae Young.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I understand that. I think a lot of fans would, but that's probably one of those shortcuts that Scott Perry has said many times. We are not interested in any of those shortcuts.
Agreed.
Here's the problem with where the Kings are as the deadline approaches. Last night you had Milwaukee in town, and there's been a lot of talk about, maybe the Bucks would have interest in some of the Kings. And our friend Chris Mannix even said a couple days ago, Milwaukee has canvassed the market for available wings, with Sacramento's Zach LaVine and Malik Monk emerging as potential trade targets, sources confirm to Sports Illustrated. All right, and it was interesting. Zach LaVine had a pretty nice game last night, and maybe I imagined it, but to me it looked like, all right, he's keenly aware that this in some ways could be an audition. But if you break it down and start looking at what Milwaukee would have to offer, you realize, they don't necessarily have a lot of the things that the Kings would want. So it's going to be difficult for the Kings to get what they want from Milwaukee, even if the Bucks are interested. And I think you could say that about a lot of the Kings' assets. For example, here's what Mannix says about that. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, productive, but they are old, expensive, and there is a reason the Kings are 6-20. Here's the scary thing. It is quite possible that come trade deadline time, Scott Perry doesn't have any deals for any of these guys that he likes. It may be a case where you've got teams coming to you saying, you're over a barrel. We'll take that guy or that guy, but you're going to have to give us sweeteners. And if Scott Perry says, we don't want to do that, Jay, the roster may look a lot like it does right now after the deadline, and maybe that would be prudent. And maybe it would be opportunistic, but it would be tough on fans.
Don't speak that into existence around here, Stretchy B.
I didn't even want to think about that. Yeah. I heard Alan talk about it today, and I found myself going, yeah, you're right, Alan. It could come to that. Man, that would be tough.
It would be. It'd be extra tough. I think I'd be almost checked out on the NBA season. I didn't care what would happen in June.
Mm-hmm.
It would be blasphemy. It truly was, to use the Stephen A. Smith word. I think you have to do something. Now, and I'm willing, with the understanding that I could see where you're coming from, I can see where Allen is coming from. I would even take a Monty McNair work around the edges situation right now. You have to change something. I don't care if it's a buyout of somebody, you have to change something. You cannot march into post-trade deadline the same way as you came into the season. And if you want to see Kings fans at the utmost of disrespectful, I think you wait and you see that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, no disrespect to Scott Perry, because he's been, I give him another pat on his back. He's been admirable with his time. He's been dealt a difficult hand. He definitely has. Definitely has. And I don't, I just don't want to see that. And I definitely don't want to put the greatest fans in the NBA, let alone sports, through that type of reckoning.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I'm hoping they don't end up with pretty much the same roster. And I'm not saying that will happen, but it's a possibility. I was thinking of this, Jay.
The exact same roster, Whitey?
Pretty much, essentially. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, and that's not a prediction.
Like, not even a buyout of DeMar DeRozan? Not even nothing?
Well, the thing about that, and I know, who was it, the gentleman who was on with Alan and Kyle a few weeks ago said, if you're DeMar DeRozan, you don't want to buy out because it costs you money.
True.
Yeah, at this point, and things could change as we get closer.
I'd use him as an example. I'm just saying, nothing. Like, I'm not talking about you cut Dougie McBuckets. I'm saying nothing.
Maybe they trade Malik and maybe that's it.
Okay. All right.
If they do, and I hope it's more than that, but if they do, I think, a lot of fans will check out and they'll say, well, wait a minute, I thought we're rebuilding. But I would see how Scott Perry may say, yeah, but in order to do that, we would have had to actually hurt our efforts to rebuild. Here's what I was wondering about. I've been, keeping track of the Suns a little bit. And last year, the last game of the year here, the Kings, they closed out the regular season before they lost to Dallas in the play-in. The last game of the year was home against Phoenix. Fan Appreciation Day, and they destroyed the Suns, and the Suns had a terrible year last year, and they traded Durant. The Suns finished behind the Kings. The Suns did not decide to tear it all down. They made some deals. They traded Durant, and they're in a spot now, Jay, where they're looking pretty good. They're competing for a top 6 spot. They'll probably be in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, how are they able to do that? It's because what they had to spin off is something that people wanted.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin Durant, they got a lot for Kevin Durant.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Kings have a bunch of pieces that unfortunately there's some nice things about all these players, and they have nice resumes, but other teams look at them and go, that guy's great, but I don't want him.
Yeah, agreed. I even think it goes back further and deeper than a lot of Kings realize, and I'll just leave it there. I think there are, you're going to have to make wine out of water when it comes to Scott Perry right now. And that's why I said I'm coming to understanding that we might not see big names leave this roster. We may not see big names come in return for whoever on this roster. But I just refuse. I just can't allow myself to get to that point yet, Whitey. And I'm glad Alan and you are there, or at least observant that you could be there. But there's no way. I'm telling you, Whitey, if this team doesn't budge or move on anything, Kings fans will revolt.
Yeah, or some of them may just say, yeah, I'm out.
That's revolting.
Yeah.
Because when has Kings fans say, yep, I'm out?
Ken Holm 9473 says the shorter DeRozan or LaVine's contracts are, the easier we can trade them.
Agreed.
Might not happen till the summer. Let's not force the issue and give up assets. He's right, and it might be the case. And as you said, Jay, I'm not rooting for this. I'm not predicting it. I just feel like maybe talking about it will make it easier for me to process if that's what happens, because that will be disappointing to say the least.
Yeah. I'm with you, and I agree with that. I've been the one that said a year and a half.
Yes,
it's going to take a year and a half. It's going to be a year and a half. It's not going to be this year. It's probably going to be this offseason. But unfortunately, the losses have piled up, and I'm like, hey, look, press the button a little sooner. And not meaning if Trey and Ken also talked about that's right, get young or patch a job and stay in mediocrity. Come on, Jay. Listen. Just because you get Trey Young doesn't mean you stop hunting and pecking and looking to try to get better. Yeah. Like I never understood why you get Trey Young and that's the end of all end. I also don't understand why Trey Young is a 20 and a 10 guy and can't figure it out. So I'm not here saying that Trey Young is the answer to everything and I just want Trey Young because he's Trey Young and he's got a name and he's an all-star. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I'm trying to get better. If you believe Trey Young can take you somewhere, then you go get Trey Young. I don't really know where I sit on Trey Young 100%. I am also open to listening, though. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be the one kid that's going to sit up here and say, hey, yo, you know what? Trey Young is the answer, and he's the savior, and he's Jesus, and in Nikes, or I think he's an Adidas guy. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the way it's operating right now ain't it.
Right.
Next year ain't going to be it. 2 years down the road probably ain't going to be it. There's other ways to skin a cat. I don't know. I truly don't know. I'm not Scott Perry. But I definitely, getting back to the conversation to answer Ken's question, and I agree with what Ken talked about. I'm not taking a shortcut. And I also agree that as we move forward towards Zach next year, DeMar, partial guarantee, which is $9-10 million next year from what we know, yeah, it's going to be easier. And I asked that question to Bobby Marks a few weeks ago because I wanted to learn in the fact of I know DeMar's 24 is on the book, but it's also January. So how does that affect your cap when you're not spending $24 million as the team that soaks them in? he's already been paid half the season. And I didn't know at the time that 24 still goes against your number, even though you may only owe him $8 million left on the deal.
Have you ever heard this phrase, Jay? I'm sure you have. People say it about basketball teams, especially football teams, baseball teams. They say, oh, they're good, but they're still a player away. You ever heard that?
Of course.
Yeah. How many, and I'm not trying to get people agitated about how bad the Kings are right now. We know right now the Kings are not a competitive team. They're not even trying to be necessarily. How many players away would you say the Kings are? Now, it depends, of course, well, how good are the players? But in general, how many players away are the Kings right now from being a team that's a top 6 contender? Again, I'm not trying to underscore that this team's bad. I'm not trying to, get people excited where they want to march on Golden One Center with the pitchforks and the torches. I'm just
voting, baby.
Let's be realistic about this, because I think they're at least right now, and I think Scott Perry knows this, they're at least 4 and maybe 5 players away. And you're not going to get all that done very quickly.
I'm gonna take the.
Now, if they get your guy AJ, well, wait a minute, that's one player, but he could be great. Yeah, I know, but in general here, how many players away?
I'm gonna take the easy route and say this. I'm a true, firm believer, and I apologize for being a broken record for the people that have heard me, and Whitey, you're one of them. They're 1 player away. You have to pinpoint a superstar. If you don't have a superstar, you don't have nothing in the NBA.
I agree with that, but I think you get that, and I think you still need more.
Of course. But I'm not looking at the long game.
You're saying start with that.
Got to start with that. I got to build a foundation. I need to luck up and get a superstar or someone that has the making or who I believe is a superstar.
I agree with that. Jim Knight says, and I don't think he's kidding, but he says they are at least 8 players.
They are. They are 8 people. Because it takes 8 people to win a championship.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm just going to take the easy route. Let's start with
G-Money says agree 4 to 5 players away.
Easy.
Ken Holmes says 3.
Plus more.
8 players.
I agree with everybody. It takes 8, 4, 3, 5, 7, 12. A coach, whatever you want to throw in there.
You give me Wemby and AJ DeBansa, and I don't even care who the other guy is, and I'd say, okay, I'll take my chances with those 3.
Yeah. I challenge people. I'm going to consistently say this. You have to build a 3, 4, 8-man type team and put that around a star. No doubt about it. And you probably need a star plus an all-star.
Yeah.
That normally wins you a championship. But you said a top 6. Hey, look, I just go back to LeBron. He took the Cavs with just about solid players, really, maybe one other all-star on a certain year. You had young Kyrie, of course. You had Larry Hughes. I mean, there's some people through there. Big Z, Zildrunas.
The Carmichael Dave lookalike.
Yes.
Second place. First
Second
place.
Is Aaron Harang.
Aaron Harang is first place.
But truly, Whitey, I think you just need a star. You need a Cade Cunningham. You need a Shea. You need a Jaylen Brown. You need a Luka. You need a guy like that. And they're not falling off trees big time. I'm not saying this stuff is easy. I'm just saying you need to get lucky. And I started with saying that. You need one guy.
That's why it is so important for the Kings to take advantage of this opportunity to end up with a high lottery pick. They may not get it. It may not work out. With the weighted lottery, you can be one of the worst teams and you don't get the first pick. But you have a chance, and that's the best way to get those guys, especially when you're a small market team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to take our medicine this year. But
it's nasty.
It is very
nasty. It's worse than Dimetap.
Yes. The way I'm looking at it as far as how many players away they are, agree or disagree, but I'm looking at it as, all right, I'm looking at pieces that could be part of whatever you're doing the next iteration. Keegan, Keon, Maxime, and I would say also Nee Clifford. There's
Okay.
4.
Yep.
And you need at least what? You need at least like 8
Mhm.
or 9.
8,
right?
9
So
rotation
that's why I
to win
end
a
up
ship.
with, all right.
Yep.
So if those 4 work out, and maybe somebody that's currently on the roster surprises you, and I didn't mention Dylan Cardwell, maybe, or Devin Carter, but you figure, all right, if you've got those guys, then you're going to need at least 4 or 5 more guys. I'm just kind of looking at the math of it.
Yeah.
Of course, where it really gets more interesting, the devil's in the details, as we said. Well, who are those 5? And if you have 1 or 2 that are really great, I might not need as many.
Yeah, I truly, without taking a shortcut and saying 1, I think to being in a top 6, you're probably 4 guys away, 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah.
But one of those guys have to be the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
And sooner rather than later. And you can start young. All these guys are coming out of college for the most part, 18, 19 years old. If you're 21, man, if you're able to drink legally and playing basketball, you're OG at this point. Grandpa, where's the walker, right? And so it's going to take, unless you get LeBron and you just jump straight up, the arrow shoots to the top, it's going to take you 2-3 years, Anthony Edwards got to the Western Conference Finals, 4 years in? Right? I think it's 4 years because he's been in, 4 years. So it's going to take you a little bit of time.
Yeah.
That's definitely understandable. I'm not asking, like you said, to take the shortcut, or not like you said, but like Scott Perry is saying, I'm not looking for the shortcuts. Would it be great? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do the Kings fans deserve it? Absolutely. They've been around for so long, they need something.
This doesn't get talked about as much, but Houston's a team that they win 2 years. They were terrible the third year when they brought in Ime Udoka. They won 40 games. And then the next year they were, wow, they're really good. So that was basically 2 years. To me, if you start, you're threatening to break 500, like, all right, you've arrived. But that's like the shortest I can think of in modern times.
Yeah.
For a team to tank and then turn it around. OKC was also pretty quick as well. Yeah.
They had more darts at the board, though, right?
Yeah.
And
again, the things they were spinning off to get stuff back were better players.
Yeah, better assets, better players.
They had Russ then. Kings have Russ now.
KD. Right? James Harden. A lot of people forget about James Harden.
George.
Yeah. They hit, though. The Giddies, the J-Dubs, like Chet Holmgrens.
Yes.
Taking the flyer on SGA, I guess not so much as a flyer. They pinpointed. They have a heck of a scouting department, if nothing else. But truly, they're probably four or five players away. And as I said again, they need one of those 4 to be head and shoulders above the rest.
I think if at this deadline you're able to get one of the guys that's a piece for the future, you might not know it for a while yet.
Sure.
If you did that, that would be a very successful deadline. It's going to be tough.
Agreed. And you know what? You make a great point, Whitey. You truly do. We may not see it, the substance may not appear.
Yeah, because it
for
might
a
even
while.
be a draft pick or something.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
2031. I saw everybody talking about the Bucks 2031 pick because Giannis may be gone. 2031, man. I have a 15-year-old daughter who graduates in 2028. She's class of 2028. I know that's not that far, but man, it feels that way.
Right.
2031?
Yeah.
We're talking about a 6th grader,
Well,
right?
it is true. We talk about this a lot. A lot of times GMs, they kick the can down the road because they're thinking, 2031, I'm not going to be around. That's somebody else's problem.
Man.
I don't have to worry about that.
Oh, it is. I'm looking at some of the people. Carmichael Dave, 84, too many players. G-Money, agree 4 or 5 players away.
15 is the max.
15 is the max.
15.
15 is the max. Kimberly on the text line, 1 the guy and 1 wing away. Great observation. I can agree with that.
Long ways towards fixing things.
I definitely can agree with that.
We're turning our attention back to the 49ers. Eric Crocker, Locked On 49ers pod host. He's going to join us next. So don't go away. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento's Outwork playlist is Mix 96.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
Now with 4 opportunities each weekday to be our $1,000 employee of the day. Today's hits and yesterday's favorites. Mix 96.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBFest.com.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes, but not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Come on, 49er fans, and I know I'm guilty of this myself, been too gloomy and doomy. Yeah, they had the chance for the 1C. Yeah, dream is over. But the 49ers are going to the playoffs against a hated rival. Let's enjoy it. Nice enough to join us here. It's, of course, the Drive Guys with Jay and Whitey. Eric Crocker is going to join us in just a moment here. He'll help you get ready for the upcoming playoff game. Eric Crocker is a former defensive back himself. Maybe he can explain why the 49ers broke down a couple times the way they did against Seattle on Saturday night. Unable to stop the run. The 49ers who, since Kyle Shanahan came here, have been built on running the football and stopping the run. And this year, they haven't really been able to run the football, and they haven't really stopped the run very well. And yet, here they are in the playoffs. What do you think? Do you think the Philadelphia Eagles did, in fact, tank yesterday in order to gain a shot at the 49ers? Did. I think so too, Jay.
Scary. They scared of the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Is our guest ready to go?
Not yet.
Okay.
Still trying to hunt him down here.
Okay. All good. Yeah. So, Eric Crocker should be joining us momentarily as we get ready for Philadelphia Eagles week. Kyle Draper is supposed to join us today at 5 o'clock. That's fine. Bring it. That's fine. The Philadelphia Eagles have had a bad year. I know right now things don't look great for the 49ers because they had that chance, and a lot of people got carried away perhaps with the idea that, you win this game, you get the 1 seed, you don't have to leave Levi's, play the Super Bowl at Levi's, and that's all over now. But that's okay. This team that has been dealing with serious injury after serious injury after serious injury, they're in the playoffs. Isn't it interesting? We talked a lot this year about the NFC jumble bucket. Both conferences, the entire NFL was kind of a jumble bucket when it came to the playoff teams. I mean, who knew that your top three in the AFC were going to be the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars? And yet here we are. And as discouraged as I know a lot of 49er fans are, I saw this today. This was in The Athletic, and I think Mike Sando put this together. He puts together during the season a great piece every Monday during the regular season. And among other things this week, he's asking people what they think of the playoffs. So one anonymous executive said, as far as this matchup this week, I like the 49ers. There's less dysfunction going on, I don't expect Philly to magically turn it on. And as good as Fangio and their defense is, I feel like what happened to the 49ers against Seattle was an aberration. Philly's going to have to score points, and I'm not sure they'll be able to do that. End quote. An anonymous NFL executive. Not Jay, not me. Now, I don't know. Maybe it was Jed York. I'm not sure who the executive was. But that's encouraging, right? Let's see what our guest thinks. As I said, he's the host of the Locked On 49ers pod, and he has been a professional defensive back as well. Eric Crocker with us. What do you think, Eric? The 49ers got a shot, as this anonymous executive thinks, against the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, you always got a shot, man. That's why they call it any given Sunday.
What do they have to do?
Now,
Yeah.
Having to go on the road, enemy territory, playing against an experienced team, that's tough. And, I'm excited to see how the 49ers, line up to the challenge for that one.
How would you say, and I know obviously the deck in many ways does appear stacked against the 49ers, but what would you say stands out to you as far as how the 49ers do match up well with the Eagles here or there?
Well, I think the 49ers match up well because, once Kyle has a beat on what the opposing team is doing and they get in the rhythm, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine offensively. And I think the tough thing with Seattle was, they were able to play man coverage when needed, and they were really sticky, eliminated yards after catch. They were contesting everything. And when they played zones, they did a really good job with their zone eyes, being able to play off and, rally to throws that were underneath. And that was very challenging to the 49ers. So, I think when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they have some good guys, in the secondary. I really like the cornerback, the nickelback from Iowa.
Dejon Cooper.
Gosh. Yeah, Dejon. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I really like Cooper DeJean when he was coming out, and I thought that's who the 49ers were going to take. And it made a lot of sense because, 49ers had Jimmy Ward for a lot of years. And Cooper DeJean, I think a lot of people wanted him to be this outside cornerback. And I was like, nah, he's not that. But if you put him in nickel, I think he's a hell of a football player. And I think that's what we've seen so far with the Eagles. So he's a guy that you may have to try to stay away from a little bit because he's a playmaker. But aside from that, I think some of the other guys, you can kind of get at them a little bit. I think the big thing is going to be how does Kyle Shanahan attack the linebackers? Because I think when we see him have the most success, it's a lot of putting defenders and specifically linebackers in conflict, and he does an amazing job of that. So how well can he do that against the Philly linebackers? And I think that's an area they excel. Another thing I think the 49ers got to figure out how to do well and be more consistent at is running the ball. Mm-hmm. They ran the ball extremely well against the Colts, who were actually a good run defense. And they got DeForest Buckner back. So, to be able to accomplish that against them and then run the ball extremely well against the Bears, I was thinking like, okay, 49ers are rocking and rolling. And then they just got stifled against the Seahawks. So I guess a lot of it depends on which 49ers team shows up and really how they match up against each other.
Hey, E, first of all, we got to give love some E head coach of Stagg High School as well, making the playoffs 8-3 this past year. E, Dante Whitner has been very, very critical of the defensive backfield, especially when it comes to the safety play, Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa at times. What's your take on them so far? You being a corner playing that defensive backfield, what's your thoughts on how they've played and just the lack of tackling by Jair Brown over the last couple of weeks?
Oh, man. So I'll start with Jair Brown. This is a guy, he's a veteran now, and for a guy who took the ball away a lot at Penn State, right? So this is a guy, he went to junior college for 2 years, then went to Penn State for a couple years. At Penn State, nobody during that time had more interceptions in the nation than Jair Brown. So this is someone who is used to playing and taking the ball away. But I just haven't seen that guy, especially this year. And sometimes when you start getting beat, you want to get that last play out of your brain, but that may be affecting him. I'm not seeing a guy playing confident, and I don't see a guy that's triggering, right? Like, he played with anticipation at Penn State. And I think since he got into the league, there's been so much up and down with his play. At one time, getting benched for a guy named Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan was partying on a cruise and had to come and work out for the Niners and got signed, and they played him over Jair Brown. So that kind of shows you how his play has really been up and down. Obviously, that was like his rookie year or second year in the league. But since then, I don't think it's gotten much better. And I think at this point, you would like to see it. The confidence looks gone to me. And I was watching him specifically on that 3rd and 17 run that resulted in the first down that really kind of broke the 49ers back. Man, watch Jair Brown again on that play. Passive. And I'm sitting there watching like, what are you waiting on? You got to trigger. You got to run the alley. We need you to make that tackle. So I think there's just been a lot of hesitancy from him specifically. When I look at the other safety, he's playing inconsistent up and down, but you would assume that was going to be the case, right? A guy who, Mustafa played a lot his rookie year, second year, okay, comes in dealing with an injury to the ACL, has to recover from that, then he finally plays. There's been some up and downs, and I think a lot of people are going to focus on the coverage stuff, where he's never been a true coverage safety. He's a guy that hits. You do get more missed tackles on guys who play like him, right? Kind of like this fast, aggressive mentality. You'll get some missed tackles, but there's also a lot of tackles at or behind the line of scrimmage that I think people kind of dismiss, and I think he does a good job of that. So in an ideal world, I need a combination of guys, right? Like, okay, I want the hitter. I also need a coverage guy. And I think when Robert Saleh looks at when his team was best, man, he had Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt, and they were interchangeable in a sense, but we always knew when it came to coverage, Jimmy Ward was the coverage guy, and Tartt was the guy that was really going to get dirty. Jimmy Ward really did both, but I think 49ers are missing that. They're missing that kind of tandem. They're kind of chasing it, but those were highly drafted guys. Jimmy Ward was a first-round pick. Tartt out of Samford University was a second-round pick, a high second-round pick. Those guys were highly drafted. Where are the guys being drafted that the 49ers are playing out there right now? And I'm not saying you can't outplay your draft stock, right? We've seen that with Brock Purdy, clearly. But for a lot of guys, it kind of like holds a little bit more true. And I think that's what we're seeing from the safeties. Not seeing the playmaking ability, and you're definitely seeing a lack of consistency.
Eric Crocker with us, host of Locked On 49ers Pod, and we appreciate your time. We'll let you go on this one. You mentioned the running game. They'd had some success against the Bears and the Colts and then fell flat against the Seahawks. How much of that has to do with the absence of Trent Williams, in your view?
I think that's huge. Yeah. I do think that's huge. We saw Pleasant come in and do well, in the previous game, but missing Big Trent, especially when you're playing against the number one defense in the league, you need your guys. Yeah. And it wasn't only hurting them in the run game; it hurt them in the passing game as well. The Seahawks were able to play as aggressive as they wanted, and Brock Purdy, another guy, played extremely well. really since he came back from his injury. But, man, he was very uncomfortable in that Seahawks game. And I'm watching, and I don't even know an area where he could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was extremely difficult on him. So, you know, how do you get that better? Oh, well, you know, I need my all-pro, future Hall of Fame left tackle out there. So hopefully he's playing in the divisional round game, in the wild card game. I was hoping he played in Week 18, 49ers win that game, and then now he gets to rest during the bye week. Yeah. Obviously it didn't work out that way, and now the 49ers got to go on the road. Hope he's healthy enough. But Philadelphia Eagles, that's a good football team, a well-coached football team, and they're going to make things a little difficult on the 49ers.
One more before we let you go. Eric Kendricks is going to get the start at middle linebacker. Tatum Bethune groin has caused him to be out for the rest of the season. It sounds like it will be him 50-50 according to Kyle Shanahan. D. Winters may or may not be there, so it may be Eric Kendricks and Curtis Robinson of caliber. Speak to Eric Kendricks coming back the last couple of weeks, getting into football shape. Can you get up to speed this fast, playoffs in your mind as a former player, 2-3 weeks and be ready to go, you know, to compete against the likes of a Saquon Barkley?
So I'll give a little bit of an example. All right, you know, obviously I coach high school football, definitely not the NFL or that kind of level. But me, I'm not as athletic as I once was, not even close. I can barely run. I can't jump. I can barely jump over a quarter at this point in my life, right? But I can get out there and I can play, you know, 7-on-7, or I can get out in team drills and play cornerback because the game has slowed down so much mentally for me, right? So I'm playing out here with these kids and I'm jumping routes and I'm doing certain things because I'm kind of seeing things happen before it actually happens. Kendricks is a veteran. And I think for the younger guys who clearly probably have more athleticism than he has at this point in his career, Bethune, you know, he's, you know, triggering, doing some really good things. But now when you have a guy like Eric Kendricks, at least you get that veteran experience. He has played a ton of football. So you have to kind of bank on that and bank on, hey, maybe he's not 100% the Kendricks that the 49ers were going to sign a year or so ago and what he was even, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. But he is a guy that can definitely help the 49ers in this pinch that they currently are in. You need a veteran guy that truly understands how the NFL works and understands what his keys are and what his coverage responsibilities are. And I'd assume at this point in his career he has played in a lot of different schemes. So I think he'll be ready.
Well, that's good news. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate your time. I hope to talk to you again soon. Enjoy the game.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, Eric Crocker, Locked On 49ers Pod. When we come right back, we'll give you the most mind-boggling number from the entire 2025 NFL season. I'm still not sure I even believe it. Next, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root off with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
This may be getting ahead of things a little bit as far as the 49ers are concerned, but I saw our friend Rob Stats Guerrera comment on this from the Gold Standard Pod. Doug Hendrickson is the executive vice president of Wasserman Football. Do you know who Wasserman is, Jay? I didn't know.
Yes, agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They apparently have just signed.
Huge agency.
Yeah, huge agency. They have a new client, Doug Hendrickson on X. Welcome to Wasserman Football, Robert Saleh. So Stats and others are going, well, he's gone.
Man, yeah, that's big time.
I don't know, but
yeah. Wasserman has been around for a while. And they have the creme de la creme of players, but
yeah.
They're one of the agencies, the CAAs, IMGs, which are combined. A lot of people talk about clutch in basketball, priority, Mark Bartelstein in basketball. They're one of them. Yeah, Wasserman is huge.
So the 49ers may have to get back on that. Who's our DC going to be, merry-go-round?
Call Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
He's looking for a job. He's a Shanny guy, good defensive coordinator.
Good call right there.
Yeah, pick up the phone, family.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 jobs open? Yeah, there's 6 jobs. Are any of them eye popping right now? And more times than not, they're not eye popping because they're losing teams.
You got Tennessee?
You got Tennessee.
You got Raiders.
Got the Raiders.
That might be the cream of the crop.
Because of what?
Atlanta. Well, just Tom Brady and I said might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not. I know they've struggled.
Cardinals, Tennessee, Atlanta, Browns. What am I missing? Goodness gracious, I'm missing some. Who are we missing?
Yeah, the Colts are standing pat.
Yeah. Browns, Cardinals, Falcons, Titans, Raiders, and we're missing somebody else.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good bunch. Who do you think? What's the best job out there? Atlanta?
Probably.
I think Arizona's. I think, I know every year I'm one of those people. Oh, they're going to surprise people this year. Surprise, they didn't.
Probably. Probably. I'd say yeah.
They got, I think, the 3rd pick. And there's, I don't know. There's something, the potential should be there. Here is the number, though, from the NFL season that to
Giants. New York Giants.
Giants.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. This season, opponents attempted 515 passes against the Jets, and the Jets intercepted none of them. Not a single one. The 18 quarterbacks who played against the Jets, they threw 125 interceptions against everyone else. They threw none of them against the Jets. The Jets making history with 0 interceptions for the entire season. That's incredible. A lot of that is bad luck. I mean, I don't know how much you saw last night. Did you see T.J. Watt's interception where he's just standing there and ball gets deflected? It's like, I got an interception. You know, that's the nature of the interception sometimes. Look at the interception Brock Purdy threw to Christian McCaffrey. It's like he didn't really throw an interception, but that's what happened. But the Jets could not come up with a single INT this year, Jay.
Yeah, I saw that a couple days ago.
amazing.
That is crazy. That is crazy. It's almost as bad as the 20 sacks from the 49ers. You know, remember for 6 weeks or whatever, the 49ers had no takeaways. And they got I think it was Upton Stout or Green got a pick. But yeah, how do you go through a full NFL season? Full NFL season.
You should get 3 just by accident.
Tip ball.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just somebody
Luck,
standing
accident.
there like,
yeah.
oh, there's the ball. Okay, intercepted.
Ooh, and, you know, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this 3 or 4 days ago, this prior to the game, is who's their head coach?
Exactly. Aaron Glenn.
Right.
Pretty good defensive
Who was a
back.
pretty good DB. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Guess there's always somebody worse than you.
Yeah. Myles Garrett breaking the all-time sack record.
Yeah, salute to him.
And the Bengals were very upset because the game was stopped after he broke the record. You know, the Bengals, they finished 6-11. They could have been 7-10. But I know Coach Zach Taylor, Jamar Chase were steamed. It's like, well, I didn't know the whole team could come out on the field. I know it's easy to laugh, like, you're the Bengals. But I get it. If you're playing and you're trying to win, you know, you really want to win the game. We accuse teams too often and players too often, but they don't want to win. If you want to win and somebody breaks a stinking sack record, you're going to stop the game in the middle of the game, Jay?
Yes.
No.
You guys aren't playing for nothing? Guess what? Another losing season on Joe Burrow's record. Let's just check that box again.
If you put together a list of the quarterbacks in the AFC that are not in the playoffs, there's some pretty good quarterbacks on there in there.
Yeah, it is.
Patrick Mahomes, Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's difficult. It's tough. You talked about parity prior to us going into vacation. The NFL has presented itself for the onlookers who love parity. I don't want the same team to win all the time. And, you know, thankfully the Chiefs are out of there, and hopefully they'll be out of there for the next 10 years. So we're good to go here, baby.
Yeah, I can't say that. I got a text from Jerry Reynolds, a great Chiefs fan, on Saturday night. He said, "Go Niners." That was just nice.
That's right. Exactly.
That was classy.
Well, that's Jerry Reynolds. See, Jerry Reynolds and Chiefs are separate. Jerry Reynolds is a Chiefs fan. I don't have no love for Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I got all the love for Jerry Reynolds. Different. He's already got a share. He's got his share in the NFL. Now, I will say this. For the years that he was not able to hoist a trophy here in the NBA, he has gotten a little bit of making up from the Chiefs over the last, 5 to 7 years. So, no love lost there. Got nothing but love for Jerry.
If you take the 7 quarterbacks who are actually in the AFC playoffs, Jay, and you added up all of their playoff wins. In fact, let's take Aaron Rodgers out. Okay?
Yes.
So he's got 11.
Yep.
So it leaves you 6 quarterbacks. How many wins do they have combined? Playoff wins. 6 quarterbacks in the AFC. If you take Aaron Rodgers out.
In the NFC?
In the AFC.
Oh, AFC.
Yeah.
AFC. Let's see here. Drake May has 0. Josh Allen's got about, 7?
I think
maybe
he has 6.
6? Justin has 0,
the
right?
total is 9.
So hold on, let me count. Herbert has none. Drake has none. Trevor Lawrence has 1.
I think so.
Yep. Josh, Aaron, CJ Stroud's only got 1?
According to ESPN, there's 20 combined, and Aaron Rodgers has 11 of them.
In the AFC.
In the AFC.
So what, Stroud's got 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Trevor's got 1.
Josh Allen with 6.
Josh Allen with 6.
Yeah.
So that's 9, yeah. No Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, that is horrific.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, you can slice this both ways. You could say, wow, it's a dawning of a new age, ushering a new power era in the AFC.
Anybody have staying, like James Brown, anybody have staying power? sustainable?
I think Drake May does.
Think so?
Yeah. And I still think C.J. Stroud's better, and a lot of people I think have kind of given up on him. It's like, I mean, not great, but he's pretty good, and he can still get better.
Yeah. I think Trevor Lawrence is decent, too. I think, if you build a team around him, and he's done okay, too. I think I want to say they're perennial Super Bowl people, but I could see Trevor, CJ, Drake make it to the playoffs. Josh should be around there for sure. Justin Herbert, he's got to be, right? He's a darling of the NFL. You better be. And he's been there the last couple of years. You got to at least give him that.
Somebody tried to tell you about the Chargers, Jay.
Yeah. Well, I
tried to tell you about a lot of teams. I wasn't right on
Well, you had the Cardinals in there, so that's a check. The Colts were in there. That's a check.
They were cruising along.
You had the Chargers. I'll give you that one.
I think I had the Patriots. But I think I also had the Titans.
Titans? Was it Titans or Falcons?
You had the Falcons.
Yeah, I had Falcons. They fell apart on me.
Although they finished, I mean, they're right there with the rest of that division. Yeah.
How about the Buccaneers?
I don't know what happened.
Just Baker, bro. Yeah. You were an MVP cat.
It wasn't that long ago you could have said, you know what? I think Tampa Bay and the Colts are going to be in the Super Bowl, and people wouldn't have laughed.
Yeah.
And now, both of them on the outside looking in. I'll tell you what makes this season the most frustrating Kings season perhaps ever when we come back. Drive Guys rolling on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Asshole. Get older, getting tired of people saying yeah.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Drive Guys with you. Hope your New Year's off to a great start. Got to tell you, Jay, this year, New Year's Eve, went to my daughter Lonnie's house, and her husband, they made us some delicious udon, which is noodles, and Darren made it. Great.
Ooh.
Had some ice cream and some pie. Then went
what
home.
flavor? What flavor?
Strawberry. And the cool thing, Jay, side note, New Year's Day, we went to the Kings game. It was a Thursday night. And so at halftime, it was a pretty good game, too. The Celtics ended up winning by 16, but it was a very competitive game. So this is only for Jay. I apologize. So at halftime, Sheena says, let's see if we can find some ice cream. Found some soft serve, and we come back, we're eating it, getting ready for the game to start. I said, we had to have ice cream today. She goes, why? I said, it's Thursday. And she said, that's right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it was very good. But anyway, my point is, New Year's Eve, had some delicious meal, came home, and Jay went to bed. Did not do the stay up. For maybe the first time in my life, I don't know.
Man, you're getting younger by the day, brother.
But it was nice. It was great. You hear some fireworks going out. Oh, okay, it's midnight. All right, great. Then you get up the next day, it's like feeling great. Instead of that, why did I stay up so late? Or, why did I drink so much last night? No, it's like, let's get the new year going.
You felt good.
Yeah.
Spirits were high.
Yes.
That's pretty good then, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is you getting sharper, smarter, more intelligent, or you getting older. I'm not sure what that
Probably
is.
a little bit of both.
Okay.
Well,
I can accept that.
Yeah. What am I going to tell people? I went to bed on New Year's Eve early. Yes, on the radio. I'm literally broadcasting it.
You ain't scared of nothing.
Yeah. Did you make it to any motion pictures?
I did not, but I'll tell you real fast, real quick though.
Yeah.
Because I just saw this out the corner of my eye. Campio said, Vic's is open again. Vic's Ice Cream on Riverside?
Yes.
Are they back open?
They just reopened.
What?
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Where have I been at?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll be making a stop very soon. Shouts out to Campy for letting me know that information.
That is a short walk from my daughter's home.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, I was asking her about it. She's the one that told me, oh, yeah, they're reopening.
They're backing up, back in business?
Yeah.
Man, shots out. Love Vic's.
Uh-huh.
I did not go to a theater. So the two movies, I didn't get an opportunity to tell you. So the two movies that I was interested in, as we went through 26 movies, was Running Man Part 3, I guess you'd call it. The reinvention of Running Man. Remember Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
And then there was one in the 60s, right? The original was in the 60s, not the 50s.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see Running Man. And then the second one was Sisu. Have you seen Sisu? Have you heard of Sisu?
I never saw Sisu.
Okay, so Sisu 1, they just dropped second the end of November, early December, something of that nature. So those were two that I was excited to see. So you blessed me with a gift card. And so I utilized that at home.
Oh, nice.
Yes, hit up Fandango at home.
Awesome.
And utilized it for one, which was Running Man.
Yeah.
Terrible. And you know how it goes. I'm not even, and Whitey, we've talked about this. I'm not that big TV movie person, whatever. But I look at the numbers 5.6 out of 10.
Yeah.
IMDb or whatever the heck is on. And I'm like, man, they don't know what they talking about. It's Running Man. These youngsters ain't watching Running Man, Just completely sabotage the storyline.
Yeah. You know what you should do, I think, if you're wondering about
So
a movie.
thank you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
for the cold story.
And I will be watching the second.
Okay.
Probably the next couple weeks.
Just check with Verlade on any movie.
He's the man.
Yeah.
But he, think about Verlade.
I don't always agree with him, to be honest with you, but he's worth checking with.
He's like Siskel and Roper, Ebert and Roper, Siskel and Ebert. He's that guy. He takes it too serious. And he knows my
Ebert and Verlade.
Yes, I'm just not that detailed in what I'm looking for in movies, and so he's figured me out over the years because we've had a great working relationship, and that's my guy outside of here, my friend, and someone that I call.
You said something very nice about him today in our staff meeting. Jay said, loud enough for everyone to hear, how in the world did they ever let you in management?
Because he's just dropping jokes on the under, and he says something, and I'm just like, what scene? Come on, man. It's just hilarious, too. But he takes it seriously. Like, he is a movie guy.
Yeah.
And I respect that. So, we've passed I will say this.
Why doesn't he do a podcast on movies?
He should. And I think he's talked about doing it here, for 1140 or Bonneville. He'd do a great job.
Yeah.
He watches so many movies and, he's into it and he takes it seriously. And so I respect it. He was the person that put me on John Wick. Yeah, he was like, yo, you love action. Have you ever seen John Wick? I'm like, no, I've heard of it. This was, I think, after part 1. And I'm like, I'll take a look at it. Love him. I love him. But that just tells you the caliber of my film critiquing. I'm all action. It got some comedy here and there. Beyond that, I'm out. I'm not looking for some person to take a key to open a door, and I got to think of a Pythagorean theorem just to figure out a movie. Like, that's not me.
Wow. Somebody says Carmichael Dave should be program director. That's not even funny as a joke.
No, yeah.
You don't even joke about that. That's not funny.
The customer you're trying to reach is not available. Please call back.
Yeah, we're not even entertaining that.
That's right. We are not. The Kings were entertaining last night, Jay, for just a brief stretch. Another kind of an odd night at the G1C. The Kings were getting boat raced. They were down by 26. Tough watch let's be honest. I think Kyle Draper's going to be on with us today. He can't say that, but I think even he would acknowledge. And yet they came back, and I got to admit, I was watching the Steelers and the Ravens. Am I a bad Kings fan if the Kings are on, Jay, and they're only my secondary viewing experience? My primary is football, which has happened at least twice this year.
No, you're not.
Already.
You're not.
Okay. That was a terrific football game last night.
Yeah, middle of the season for the Kings, which is a down season. Everything on the table when it comes to making the playoffs for, a bitter NFC North rivalry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it was December 18th. It was that loss to the Blazers in overtime, and at the same time the Seahawks were playing the Rams. But I watched the football game. Then once I went to the basketball game, I stayed with it. But last night, I was really watching the football game more closely. Turned it back, and the Kings had cut the deficit to 3 from 26 down to 3 on a Drew Eubanks hook shot of all things. They ended up losing 115-98.
Did you teach him that?
Not him.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Hollins. I talked to Ryan Hollins, unless Ryan Hollins taught it to the Shack of Troutdale. So that's kind of where it is with the Kings. Where does the loss leave them? It leaves them here. Right now at 8-28, they have the third worst record in the NBA. So third worst record does give you, a 52.1% shot at the top four pick in the draft. That's the highest you can get. And it gives you a 14% chance at the number 1 overall pick, which is the highest available. And it's tough if you're a Kings fan and you watch the games and you want your team to win. And why aren't they playing this guy? Why aren't they playing that guy?
Yeah.
Why didn't Keon Ellis play more? Well, he got hurt last night. And Keegan got hurt last night.
Yeah.
So it's tough. But the bottom line is the Kings, as of right now, they're in really good shape when it comes to the lottery.
Well, you just hope that lottery, you hit the Powerball.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. And you've heard this before. I don't even need the big pot. Just give me, it's that, right? Let me just get the 1 million. Let me hit 5 numbers or something.
Right.
Let me hit the Powerball in 3 numbers.
Yeah.
That's where we're at as Kings fans. Truly. And I don't fault you for watching a huge, and the last game of the season, right? For the NFL.
Yeah.
So, no, man, I mean.
And it was essentially a playoff game.
Yeah,
loser goes home.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Kings will play manana. NBC Peacock, 8 o'clock. You have another opportunity, Lord willing.
Yeah.
You're not going to see Lamar Jackson versus Aaron Rodgers again the rest of the year.
Does Aaron Rodgers now, can he retire after this year
Please.
with his image restored, leading the Steelers back to the playoffs with a fourth quarter comeback? He talked about how great it was, and who was it? Melissa Stark asked him, "Are you saying you're riding off into the sunset?"
Yeah.
It was a good question, and he kind of dodged it. She said, "I had to ask. It was a good question."
Of course, doing your job. I don't know. he's going to have a very murky retirement and legacy. I don't know, because you either like him or you hate him, right? There's really no in between from Aaron Rodgers.
Very polarized.
Yes, and when I say hate, meaning him as a football player, and I would probably some people have started to dislike him as a person because of some of the things that he's partook in.
I think he's kind of harvested that vibe.
Yeah, I was going to say that he's kind of created it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know, Whitey. I'm not sure. Because when you really look at it, people always say 2 or 3 things. He's one of the most talented throwers of the football, rifle, quick release, didn't win a lot, truly didn't.
Right.
And the times that won, came in as a wild card.
And if they could have recovered an onside kick, they would have gone a second time.
Probably,
for him.
Yeah. But, I mean, if Roger Craig didn't fumble,
You're right.
I mean, there's so many of those, right? So if Kyle Williams could have held the ball.
If he didn't have to play the 49ers in the playoffs all the time.
Man, getting slapped around.
He definitely did.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think we as fans, we as football fans, we as sports fans recognize that he's ultra talented, he's uber talented. But at the same time, he probably fell a little short to expectations. And a lot of those created by the media, and a lot of those probably created by him as well.
I think if he asks me, which he's not going to do, but, if he wants to play, I don't blame anybody. When I was much younger, I used to think, you've got to get out when your legacy is secure. But you know how it is. You get older, you realize, man, once you're done, you're done.
Yep.
And for some of these guys, they do it because they love doing it. And if he were to say, I want to play some more, great, do it. Like Vince Carter. I just want to play. They're great. Good for you. But if he is concerned at all about legacy, to me, your skills clearly at 42, they're fading a little bit.
Eroding a little bit.
This is a great chance for you. If you're worried about that at all, this is a great chance. You bounce. Things did not work out with the Jets. The Jets said, take a hike. And then you end up with the Steelers and you guide them back to the playoffs. Perfect chance to say, all right, I proved I can still play. Now I'm done.
Be interesting. He doesn't touch me as the guy of, I'm going to do it on anybody else's schedule. I think he's going to do it on his own.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I really don't know. He also touches me as a guy that's like, you know what? I'm going to stick it to him just a little bit more and show and prove that I can continue. And, there is a guy that I've been compared to for a long time. He's got the jewelry, but I want some other that, different love, and that's Tom Brady. And so I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. For me, I see Aaron Rodgers in the same light. I think he is who he is, and the fact that he didn't win more, you know what he is for me right now? He is a superstar that in reality, and I know I'm crossing sports, he got caught. A lot of people say the Jordan effect. He got caught with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. He got caught in a heck of a quarterbacking era. And he just, he snuck one out. Good for you. But to me, you can't be better than Peyton. You can't be better than Tom. You're Drew Brees. But I think he feels he's better. And some people, because he's a physical thrower, he's got the attributes of a great passer, probably going to say he's better than Drew. But what makes him better?
Right. The thing that I think ultimately hurt him, maybe hurt his legacy, is that he basically played his way out of 2 situations. With the Jets, there was a lot of controversy surrounding him and not showing up for the voluntary workouts and things, and that's his right. But there were 2 teams that he played for that he kind of ended on bad terms with. And most great quarterbacks, when things end, they might end badly, but typically, everything is patched up. But he basically, Jay, he ended up in a bad situation, having a fallout with both the Packers and the Jets. And yeah, things have worked out now. But, it happens once. Well, yeah, boy, they didn't treat you right. It happens a couple times, and some of that's on you. And to me, that's one of the things I'll remember about his legacy.
Yeah, I give you that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I don't think he frowns upon that. I don't think he really cares.
Seems to kind of embrace it, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so going back to where you say, he's kind of harvested some of those, some of the
negativity.
attitude towards him. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah. But that was, last night I'm watching them and, and I'm seeing the huddle. It's like, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Because they've had a lot of injuries, too, at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, give him credit. Lamar Jackson led a great comeback, and if the rookie kicker makes a kick, the Ravens are playing, and the Steelers are not today. But, yes, that's football. So I think this is a great chance because they're probably going to get, if not just having their spleens removed, they're going to get roughed up pretty good, I think, this week.
You think so?
Yeah.
What? Pittsburgh has missed on a lot of wide receivers, too.
Yeah.
And the ones that they've hit, for whatever reason, the Pickens, they just don't mesh. They don't seem to last.
Get squirrely.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there, but let's face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
something happens to them.
Well, you got some love here. You're not a bad Kings fan when the team is electing to be a bad franchise to the fans for the follow. That's from the 209.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Also, this is Justin. Huge Kings fans could care less if they're playing right now. I watch football and somebody gave me an update on the Kings game and really could care less.
Mm-hmm.
He also talked about Aaron Rodgers. He was like, after watching Aaron Rodgers docu, I'm siding with, I love him. I was on the fence. Can't hit the guy.
All right, maybe I should watch that. I know he's done a lot for the community of Chico.
Yeah.
Last night he said Aaron Rodgers, Chico, California.
Yeah.
And it's not publicized, and he doesn't publicize it. And people there go, oh, my goodness, he's done great things for the community.
That's the toughest part is, I think I have a love-hate relationship, and really I don't love him. I just hate him. But on the back end, I got some love for Aaron Rodgers because he come from NorCal.
Yeah.
Chico, out the pocket, out of nowhere,
Yeah.
representing. But I dislike him, first of all, because he's a Packers quarterback.
Right.
Second part of it, he's rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Maybe I should watch the docu as well. He's not my cup of tea, I'm not down with his style.
This is totally unfair, perhaps, but I can't help it. There have been times when I've watched him in recent years where he's talking about things, and I feel like, you think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
You're talking down
to me.
Yeah.
He's smug.
Yeah.
He definitely smug.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he definitely smug.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it, too, is I got love because he went to Cal, right?
Right.
Stayed home, went home, played JUCO. I respect where he's come from and where he's went. But he could have been a Niners quarterback.
I know.
And I hate the fact that we took Alex Smith and not Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
It set us back. And so that's what said. I got a love-hate for Aaron, and a lot of it has nothing to do with him, and a lot of it does.
Mm-hmm. Did you think they should have got him? When was that? They revisited that like 3 years ago? Did you think they should have pursued that?
Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't have. Love-hate. He was a Packer by then, and he was Aaron Rodgers by then. So
Right.
it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll root for you because you're in a Niner uni, but I ain't feeling you.
So Kyle could have had Tom Brady.
Dude,
could have had Aaron Rodgers.
Man, come on. Whitey, how do you pass on the GOAT?
Jimmy, man.
You pass on the GOAT?
Jimmy took him to a Super Bowl.
Didn't win.
No, it's a great question, especially because a couple of years after that, right about the time, and I saw your guy playing yesterday, Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Right about the time they drafted him, somebody was talking to Kyle Shanahan about quarterbacks, and he says, everyone thinks that I think Kirk Cousins is the greatest. And he's like, he's a good quarterback, but no, I don't think of him as the greatest. And he said that when we lost that Super Bowl, when I was with the Falcons, and we're up 28-3, and he says, and Tom Brady led that team all the way back. He says, that's when I realized you got to have a guy like that. You got to have somebody who's capable of that, and not all quarterbacks are capable of that. But I think by the time he admitted that, he had already missed the bus on, where Brady was.
I was going to say, what?
Yeah, I think he'd already missed the bus.
Come on, Shanny.
That was a year or two after that. But your guy, Trey Lance, didn't play well yesterday.
Nah.
But he got to play a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't. I didn't watch too much of the game. I saw bits and pieces, little clips. I saw him run a few times. Didn't really see him become a factor. I don't know how much of the Chargers starters and people around him played because they were mailing it in. They had nothing to play for. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to get my Brian Baldinger on and let me see the film, as they like to say. And I got to go back and watch the tape, Whitey.
Yeah. Speaking of watching things, I do think that's one of the problems for Kings fans right now. Yeah, they don't seem as an organization like they're trying. So not only is it frustrating, but like we were saying earlier, Jay, I think it's confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on? And I do feel that Scott Perry has been about as clear as he can be about what's going on. But when you're just watching the games, the game that they played against Phoenix on, I think, January 2nd, they had the game against the Celtics here, and it was a competitive game.
Yep.
And then Boston ended up winning going away, and Jaylen Brown was great. The next night they played in Phoenix, and I don't know that I've ever felt this way. The game was on, but I was on my phone, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I just wasn't engaged at all in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't hold. It was more like, well, we might end up talking about something that happens here, so I have to watch. But I didn't watch. I just had it on.
Yeah. It has become background fodder.
Yeah.
For me, I know, I'm not it's not appointment setting for myself like here to drive guys, right? 2:00. But no, I mean, there's plenty of times I turn the game on and I'm doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
My focus is looking or reading or researching something else or listening to the daughter or the wife or my partners or something, more than, let me see the defense and the way it's setting up and, is Dylan Cardwell a good zone play? Like, no. A lot of times what I find myself this year doing is going back later on that night because I'm a night owl or going back in the morning when, the house is still and the wife is at work and my daughter's at school. I'll go back and watch it and I can fast forward, the commercials and stuff like that.
Rocky James Kajimura says, I'm debating if it's tougher watching the WNBA or the Kings this season.
Ooh, my Lord.
There's some really good WNBA players and teams. I'm not the biggest WNBA fan, but I used to coach girls basketball. I have nothing against girls basketball, but there's definitely a lot of WNBA stuff that's better than some of the stuff going on with the Kings this year. Loyal Royal 73. I watched till halfway, then shamefully turned it to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
You don't have to do so shamefully, right?
No,
It's okay.
do you? Live it.
That's why we're talking about this. It's all right.
It's okay. It's all right to understand that you checking out in bits and parts throughout the season, or maybe the whole season, is all right. We're going to give you a mulligan this year. The kingdom is going to give you a mulligan because you aren't the only one. That's what we're saying is we're checking out as far as the details. It is our job to know what's going on and pay attention. So me, Whitey, Alan, Kyle, we all pay attention a little more. Probably. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it is okay for you to say, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and turn over to E! Network and watch a little Real Housewives of Salt Lake, baby.
Loyal Royal, feel not any shame. This isn't on you. This is on them.
I thought you were going a little Hamlet when you said that. Fear not.
I didn't know where. Yeah. Let not shame inhabit your breast. It's not your fault.
It is not.
The fault is not thine own. It is the fault of those whose decisions have created this predicament.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right.
And we all know if the Kings give us reason, when they do, maybe as soon as they make a trade and bring in a new player or two, we'll be right there glued to the screen.
Better
but
believe
in the
it.
meantime, yeah, I got you on. Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
But I'm all, right. I have no clue. Forgive me and/or Whitey if you don't know this answer. I don't know if we're in the beginning of the season with Real Housewives of Salt Lake or in the middle. You going back, you binging. I'm not sure, but I can also understand you don't have to have a plight to work your way over to the Real Housewives.
Real Housewives
kind
of like, CSI. They had CSI, then they had CSI Miami, and they had CSI New York, and pretty soon you're just like CSI Dubuque or whatever. Yeah, is that kind of what they are with Real Housewives?
Oh yeah, there's so many of them. Beverly Hills, Orange County, Salt Lake, Basketball Wives.
Okay,
hip hop wives. Yeah, Love and Hip Hop. There's so many of them nowadays. My wife because I've been home the last couple of weeks, she's been watching Palm Beach. I don't know if it's the Real Housewives of Palm Beach or what's going on, but I'm looking like that's not even my lifestyle. And even if I was, that wouldn't be my lifestyle. That's just not who I am. And I'm like, why are you watching this? She's captivated.
Yeah.
So, hey, I salute her.
Mm-hmm. It's incumbent upon the team to give us captivating play.
Yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead and take a look if you want to get to Provo.
Take a peek.
Yeah.
Take a peek.
You want to eyeball them young ladies going to Provo?
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking of other possible names for the show, and I really shouldn't mention them. When we come back, we were just talking about the available NFL jobs. I just found here a ranking of the available NFL head coaching positions. Do you agree or not? Next, Sactown Sports.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their Rudolph with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBFest.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
More bad injury news on the 49er front this afternoon. Kyle Shanahan in his afternoon conference call announcing that Tatum Bethune, who replaced Fred Warner, will miss the postseason because of a torn groin. So I know a lot of us instantly and naturally start to wonder, well, okay, does that mean Fred Warner is coming back? Not yet. Warner has been attacking his rehab with an eye towards getting back for a possible playoff run, according to Nick Wagner. The 49ers could, of course, use him sooner rather than later, but Shanahan said the team is not ready to open Fred Warner's practice window, leaving that door open for later in the postseason. We'll see. So you've also got the fact that D. Winters is dealing with an ankle injury. Backup Luke Gifford has a quad issue. It's going to be tough sledding for the 49ers at the linebacker position. Jay.
Yeah.
It's just absurd the number of injuries that this defense has had to deal with. And trying. It's hard to be optimistic right now with the Eagles coming up, but I'm trying, Jay. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's I was looking at some notes from a couple of our guys, the Barrows, the Mayokos, the Jennifer Lee Chans, the young lady Jennifer Lee Chan, and others. Mm-hmm. And just kind of going through with some of them. 50-50, man. It's just D. Winters, Tricky Ricky P, Ricky Pearsall, Trent, Keon White, Jair Brown. Gifford is 50-50. I mean, this is what, according to Shanahan, said. Brock Purdy is a good to go. He'll be rocking and rolling. I don't – Nick Martin, which is, someone –
you been kind of high on him?
Yeah, and a lot of people have been talking about him. He's in concussion protocol yet again.
Yeah, so he's got to remain on injured reserve for at least one more week.
Sounds like that. I saw also, too, and let me see who would say. I forgot. I just put it in my notes real quick in between break. Jacob Cowing's practice window is open, and he will practice on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. So it'd be his first time his go-around, which is crazy because he's been gone for all season for the most part.
If D. Winters and Luke Gifford are unavailable, according to Nick Wagner, the Niners would turn to Curtis Robinson and Garrett Wallow, whom the team claimed on waivers from the Broncos on December 8th. San Francisco also has linebackers Jalen Graham and Andrew Farmer II on the practice squad.
Jalen Graham's been someone that's been around for the last couple of years. I think he and either D came in before him and then Graham came in after, but they were kind of compared. The best I know is Jalen Graham is a heat-seeking missile. He has a lot of speed, needs to work on tackling. Wallow surprised me. I don't know if you did it, but I know me and a bunch of my boys who were watching the game together, 49 came across the screen, and Whitey, I said out loud, who in the hell is number 49? I had no clue who number 49 was, and that was Wallow. And I'm sitting here looking like, okay, I look at this team 18 times a week. Who is number 49? Am I forgetting somebody?
Jeff Fuller back?
I'm like, who is that? Had no clue. Slipped through the cracks for me.
Gonna be tough.
Yeah. You think Drapes is 433? See, Drapes is probably listening by now. So yeah, man, we finna come through. Rec shop.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. Boy,
come on, man. You gotta don't say it like that.
No, I'm just thinking it's gonna be so satisfying.
Oh.
If he has to explain, well, it was the officials.
Yeah.
The 49ers somehow, some way can pull one out.
Curtis Robinson led 49er defensive attack.
We've been saying this for a while now. Matt Mayoko, when he was on the show, said, yeah, the way it is right now, the offense pretty much has to carry the defense. So the offense has to be able to stay on the field, score a lot of points and or in the process, and I know it's hard to do both, but chew up clock. As long as you're moving the ball, your defense is on the sideline and can't be taken advantage of. But last week against Seattle, they couldn't run the ball at all. So how do you do that, Jay?
Yeah.
But the Eagles offensively also, they've had their problems too.
They can't run the ball either.
They can't do anything.
Yeah. Well, you know how you run the ball? You just give it to the running back and hopefully find some area, some space, some room. I don't know. But that's – and it's not all on Shanny, but that's where, and we started the show and I was talking about if there's any time to be the mastermind, and maybe he was and they just couldn't execute it. Like you said, it's the Jimmy and the Joes. They just couldn't get it done. But I think if there's any time to showcase that you are a whiz, it was either last week or for sure this upcoming week against the Eagles. Tell me, show me, prove to me that all the praise that is heaped upon you as being, leap years abound. Show it to me. Pull some rabbits out the hat. I want to see it.
I'll say it again, Jay. I think in some ways the game Saturday was Kyle Shanahan's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Because he could not scheme his way around his team's physical deficiencies. There was no scheming around it.
No, we're working on like 5th and 6th stringers at this point in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm. 49ers have linebackers that UFL teams are looking at going, nah, we're good. Thanks.
We're cool.
Leave your resume up front. Maybe we'll get back to you. With the season over now, we have from CBS Sports and Jared Dubin a ranking of the 6 available head coaching jobs. They have 6, Jay.
Yep, that's the 6.
As of this afternoon.
That's what we have.
I know we were just talking about this, so let's see if we agree with what he has. Number 6, he has Arizona. I had them higher.
Okay.
Arizona lost 14 of its final 15 games, looked incredibly listless in doing so.
Yeah, they're a lot higher for me.
Yeah. Number 5, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Browns have a good defense built around Myles Garrett, drafted a pair of star rookies. What they don't have is much other talent on offense. I mean, I would feel really good taking over a team as a head coach that I knew had a sturdy defense that I could build around.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the only thing that makes you hesitate for Cleveland is it's Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, the Browns just haven't been good in a long time, right?
Right.
And they can't get right. It's kind of like how we look at with the Kings outside looking in. A lot of people are like, they just can't get right. I don't know what the problem is. Yeah.
4, Raiders. And they say 4 reasons. Brock Bowers, Ashton Ginty, the number 1 pick in the draft, and $100 million in cap room. They say you could say 5 reasons and include Max Crosby. So they have the Raiders 4th.
I would think they're a little higher because the number 1 pick, and it's Vegas. And I know it's, I understand the visitors to Vegas was down, tourist attractions and things like that haven't been as pumping as they have over the last couple of years, especially post-COVID, and the numbers are super high. I've seen articles and stuff about that, but it's still Vegas, right? It's like, okay. You got Tom Brady, you got the GOAT operating and moving, and they got a lot of money on the table.
Mm-hmm. This is CBS Sports ranking of the 6 available head coaching jobs. We had been talking about this earlier, so we're comparing our list to theirs. Number 3.
Tennessee
Titans.
Yeah, I'd say they're 6 for me. They don't really have nothing that I'm interested in, minus Cam Ward.
The Titans had one of the worst rosters and coaching situations in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
But they might be set up to make a jump next year.
How?
All right. Good luck with that.
What's their cap space? Does it say?
I don't know that it does have their here you go. Tennessee is set to enter the offseason with over $105 million in cap space.
Got a lot of chip.
And the number 4 pick in their draft.
Got a little chip on the dip.
So that's pretty tasty, but I'm with you. I wouldn't have them second. Number 2, the New York Football Giants.
I think they're overrated.
They have young talent on offense, according to CBS Sports. Specifically at quarterback, Jackson Dart. I don't like him. I think he's a pretty good player. I just don't like him.
Yeah, I don't. As a person, or just okay.
Yeah,
I got you. I don't see it with them though.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's talking about Dart. I know you got Neighbors. Blanking on the other wide receiver at the moment. That's
they got Cam. Cam's Scatteroo.
Yeah, love Cam.
Hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Shouts out to Rhea Linda. But I don't really see it with the Giants. And the other thing too is, and this is, we talk about Robert Saleh signing with Wasserman agency now being represented. We know where he's not going. That's back to New York. So there's 5 other opportunities unless something else opens that he's not going back to New York. They would absolutely have pitchforks and lanterns if Robert Saleh came back to New York, albeit with the new organization. I just don't see it with them, no.
Oh, you're right. That's a good way to look at this. I mean, if you're Robert Saleh, how do you look at this? Number 1 on this list, of course, is by process of elimination, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, they're number 1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arthur Blank doesn't fear writing a check. I think he is loyal. I think he also understands that he's getting he needs a championship, and he's been hunting and pecking and looking for one for a long time. I truly believe he's ready to do anything he can do, and probably has for a while to get that championship that's eluded him.
They've got an offensive line that looks pretty solid. Bijan Robinson, Drake London on offense.
Yeah.
But the Falcons do not have a first-round pick in this year's draft.
Right.
And they enter the offseason over the 2026 salary cap.
I saw that. And they go back, the Penix, right? They traded up for Penix, which got rid of their first-round draft pick. It looks like Kirk Cousins maybe is going to be the starter for next season, depending on what Penix injury.
They could save, $20 to $30 million by cutting him or designated him. So
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I know Kyle Pitts is something they've been trying to figure out. He had a heck of a rookie year, hasn't really showcased, those numbers since. Bijan is a baller. Drake is a baller.
I would want to talk, if I was up for that job, I'd want to talk, I'm not making light of it, Michael Penix Jr.'s orthopedist.
Yeah.
I was like, well, how's the knee looking?
Definitely.
What do we got?
Yeah, and this isn't the first, second, or third, right? This is the fourth time I think they've operated on those legs. I like AJ2 on the outside, defensive cornerback. I think he's solid, someone to build on. Their defense isn't – they finished 8-9, which was the record of NFC South champ.
Right.
They were right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For me, I think they're number one, and I think they have a couple of pillars that I'm interested, but for sure it goes back to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, how the 49ers whiffed on all three chances they had to turn that Seattle game around. Next, Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your number one sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision-making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
The Lowe's Closeout event is here with the final savings of the season. Grab amazing deals on seasonal decor, tools, flooring, and more before they're gone. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free standard shipping. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/7. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Free shipping excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to change. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
600. So.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young. Turnpike Troubadours. Dylan Scott and more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. More info at CITBfest.com. To discuss.
And we've got you covered. It's the Drive Guys.
Yeah, even the ice cream machine had their golden one in a little bit of a slump. But that happens. That happens. The ice cream was delicious nonetheless. It's just, you order a swirl, you think it's going to be like 50-50, right? One flavor and also the other, not like 90% chocolate. That's not a swirl. I like chocolate, but I didn't ask for chocolate. You said swirl. So anyway.
Dang.
It's probably nitpicking.
We can't even get it right in the grandstands, man.
Yeah. Top of the hour, we may have word on Trae Young's next team. We'll take a look at that. Nothing has happened yet. I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but there are some indications that we may have a clue here as to where Trae Young is going to end up. Is it going to be Sacramento? I don't think so. I'm not going to do that to you. No. Anyway, we've got that coming up. Jay, I was watching yesterday, Red Zone, and it's kind of like, oh, that's it for a Red Zone channel. And so I enjoy it. I was chuckling because I was watching the 49ers Saturday, as I'm sure a lot of people were, and they had an ad for the season ticket. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, and it's like $4.99.
Oh, I did see that for the rest of the year.
For tomorrow,
yeah.
Yeah, when not even all the teams were playing.
Yeah, I did see that.
Jason Kelsey can't settle down since we told him he could watch the rest of the season on season ticket for $4.99. Like,
man, NFL, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
Man. Out here plucking it. You know what you do? If the NFL, and this is, I guess this is just me being too, the humanity of Jay, right? But personable. The NFL should have gave Week 18 to viewers. So, hey, man, half these teams ain't playing for nothing. Half these dudes ain't even starters. This preseason.
Right.
Watch it for free.
Our gift to you.
Yes.
Our thanks for supporting us.
There'll never be that.
Yeah.
They'd rather get the $5 membership fee than, hey, you know what? Guys have been great all season.
Yeah.
Corporate. That never works that way.
No, doesn't happen that way. So I'm watching the 49ers prospects yesterday, thinking that'd be great if somehow Arizona beat the Cardinals. They could be, they could be a 5 seed and they'd play Carolina. Outside of that, maybe the Bears lose and the Eagles win, and then the 49ers get the Bears. And, if Ramsey's listening, nothing against your team. I know the 49ers have played the Bears and they've beaten them. And at one point it looked pretty good. Arizona was actually
they were up.
They were playing pretty well against the Rams, and then in the blink of an eye, it's like a tsunami, a Puka Nakua tsunami. It's like, well, that game's over. That's okay. The Lions are beating the Bears 16-0. That went up in smoke like that, but the Lions did prevail. And then the Eagles had a lead over Washington, but then they fell behind to Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
And then they had the ball down 7, one last drive, and it's 4th and 3, and there's an incompletion, and Washington's going to win. And that, man, of course, all right, the 49ers are going to play.
And they had 3 timeouts, too. The Eagles had 3 timeouts.
Eagles had zero interest in actually winning that game yesterday.
No. Disrespectful. And it's going to come back to bite them. It really is.
Yeah.
You
tell them.
The 49ers might not win the Super Bowl, but they damn sure beating the Eagles.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah. That would be a nice little cherry on top of this season.
Absolutely.
The 49ers had, I think we can all agree, 3 big chances to turn that game around Saturday. Football games don't usually come down to 1 or 2 or 3 plays, but I think we can look at that game and say, all right, Seattle was physically the better team. They dominated the 49ers, but there were 3 chances the Niners had to turn that game around. First up, Jay, you had early fourth quarter, of course, CMC bobble at the Seattle 3, right? It looks like, all right, the 49ers, they score here. They're down 13-10, and there's a pass that's tipped. Christian McCaffrey has to come back for it, and then juggles it, and it's intercepted. That was a backbreaker, Jay. Wasn't that just kind of?
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the one. That was the end. I thought you were going in chronological order, but no, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
When he put that ball up and linebacker came down with it was over right there.
Yeah. Late third, Yetur Gross-Matos failing to come up with the Seattle fumble.
So that
Yeah. Sam Darnold stumbles, and the ball is loose, and Yetur Gross-Matos, he got a mitt on it.
2 mitts.
Yes, I think it hit him in the
chest,
helmet.
a head, right. That's unexcusable, man. That's unexcusable. I'm sorry.
Deep in Seattle territory.
It would have been on somewhere in the 20s.
Yes.
I'm literally, if I'm one of those, if I'm his teammate, I come over to him like, yo, what are we doing?
Yeah. You don't have to pick it up. And he was falling down it. You don't have to pick it up or anything. Just grab the football.
He's too big of a dude not to come down with a football, man.
Yeah.
Just cover it up with your body and make it make sense.
And he had a free shot at it.
And
uncontested.
When that happened, and then what you're getting ready to say next happened, it was over then.
2 plays later, Kenneth Walker, 3rd and 17. They just toss it to him, 19 yards and a first down. That, of course, was the play after which you saw John Lynch grabbing his head, screaming, which we were all doing.
Yeah.
That was incredible, Jay.
Yeah.
3rd and 17 is like, well, all right, it's a toss. They got oh no.
They were conceding. The Seahawks were conceding.
Yeah.
Yo, we're ready to punt.
Yeah.
And you gave it up, and it was like, oh, okay, we got playing with house money now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't meant to be for the 49ers. Definitely those 3 in that order. You had the opportunity to fall on it. You don't. Okay, you're unlucky. 3rd and 17. At least you get the ball back up. No, you won't. And then McCaffrey, can hold on to it. You could put the tip in there or not. The fact of the matter is catch the damn ball, McCaffrey.
Right.
I don't care. For everything CMC has had, and this is the toughest part when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
He's going to have, unless something changes, he's going to have 2 stains on his 49ers.
Oh, no.
One of them will be he wasn't able to win a Super Bowl. And the second one is you fumbled in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be those 2.
I was just wondering if you were trying to put this one.
No. But it's coming down to that because we talk about, even to this day, we still talk about a Roger Craig fumble. And he won, and he should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's up for it, and hopefully he gets in. But it just goes to show.
You're right.
A lot of times, especially now, which is something Drape's coming on here in about 5, 6, 7 minutes, something Drape's always talked about is we remember the negative. We always promote the negative a lot of times. And he talked about that with the Kings and the NBA and stuff like that. Social network was one of his pet peeves. But it's going to come down to that. If CMC doesn't win a Super Bowl or does something that puts the 49ers over top, that allows them to do something astronomical of winning a Super Bowl, making the playoff, something. He's got to have a staple. Right now, his staple is you fumbled in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I think
where he's at.
Yeah, you could say that about this whole
organization, regime,
era. I was going to say regime.
Okay.
Yeah, Kittle, Brock, certainly Shanahan, Lynch, and they still have time. They could still turn the whole thing around. We've seen coaches and teams do that.
Hold on, real fast.
Yeah.
You think Brock is going to be pushed into this?
If he doesn't win a Super Bowl.
So what happens if they don't win a Super Bowl, they rebuild in 2 years, and he's still a guy, and the next regime is moving under Brock's guidance?
If he does it, whoever he does it with, then he's off the hook.
Okay.
And I don't, because he hasn't been here as long as the rest of them, I don't have him at the top of the list. But I do think especially Kyle Shanahan, right?
Oh, he's number 1.
Yeah.
He's definitely number 1.
Yeah. But I was thinking of Andy Reid. Remember when Andy Reid was like, man, that guy can't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He's definitely – Kyle will be number 1. No, that's more than any player that I can think of, he's going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're minus like CMC wasn't here for the first couple, few years.
Right.
Kittle's definitely been that way, but he's a tight end. It's like, he's a tight end. What can he really do?
Yeah.
They really haven't had a number 1 wide receiver. You had Debo mixed in, Jawan. You got Ayuk, who's been in and out. Trent Williams may be one of those guys, but I think people look at him as, well, he's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And He didn't really give up, too much for the most part. Like Shanahan is he X marks the spot, man.
Yeah.
He's going to be the guy.
That's one thing that I don't think was talked about enough after that game, because I know that the 49ers did not protect Brock Purdy at all. Brock Purdy took more heat than I think he should have, both during the game and also after the game from, pundits. But the 49ers wide receivers are terrible.
They are.
Man,
they are.
I was watching, like I said yesterday, watch Red Zone and see these, teams that aren't very good. It's like, man, they got some good receivers. And Juwan Jennings is a really nice possession receiver, but their receivers compared to the rest of the league for a team that is a playoff team, they're terrible.
Well, that's the thing. They have a bunch of possession guys.
Yeah.
No one that could take the top off. And again, going back to what Kyle Shanahan said today in his phone call, Jacob Cowing's practice window is open. But here we go. We're talking about Jacob Cowing.
Right.
We're talking about Juwan. And it's nothing against these guys, DeMarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne. But these dudes are threes on other people's teams.
Mm-hmm.
And we need them to be ones and twos and threes, let alone, start and produce. It was all downhill when you implemented all your money towards Brandon Ayuk. You went all in on Ayuk, and I know you don't want to give away talent for nothing. And it looks like they might have backed their way out of this thing with Brandon Ayuk. But we knew it coming into this year. And I'm also say this. I'm a fan of Tricky Ricky P, but you can't not be on the field here in a minute. It's 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll tell Kyle Draper why Ricky P is poised for the
biggest
game
finna cut them up, though. We ain't worried about that.
Of his career. Next on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr.
So we gotta move in the
Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Hey, KMHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
May have some indication here of where Trae Young's going to end up. I mentioned that earlier today. It was reported by Shams that the Hawks and Trae Young's representation are working together. They are combining in a collaborative effort to find a new home for Trae Young. So it sounds like, all right, it's amicable there. Something is probably going to happen at some point. Mark Stein reporting today, the Wizards have emerged as a legitimate potential trade destination for Trae Young in a deal construction centered around C.J. McCollum's expiring contract. So something to keep an eye on there. Trae Young and the Hawks and his people working together and finding him his next home. His next home could be Washington.
That'd be a little interesting.
Yeah.
Because then you have to think, do you build around him if you're Washington, or is that just kind of a pit stop?
What's his, is he free agent after this year?
No, he's got a...
If he just signed, I mean, to me...
He's got a few, right?
Depending on the years left on his deal, if you're a team like Washington and you bring in Trae Young, that's a sign that, all right, yeah, he's a guy we think we can build on.
Let's see here, Mr. Gleason. He's got one more after this year.
Okay.
And it's actually a player option.
So he has a player option after this season.
So next season is a player option. $48 million.
So,
Call it 49.
He could be a short-term acquisition then.
Yeah, and allow him to kind of move and groove. See, that's why I'm interested. It's because we're talking about someone that could be off the books coming at the end of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
So you want the Kings to get involved in these conversations?
Yeah. I know I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested in it.
That, again, would be, I would understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm interested.
Uh-huh. Do we have our guest with us now?
Yeah, we got this sucker.
Yeah.
He's a sucker for the next week. He's my boy, but he's a sucker.
Kyle Draper is with us. Happy New Year, Drapes. How are you?
What's up, fellas? Hey, man, I'm looking forward to the NFC divisional round, not the wild card, the divisional round. I'm already 2 weeks ahead, big fella. Hey, let's keep it real. This is the worst matchup for the Niners out of the possible teams they could have matched up with. This is the worst matchup for the Niners.
I was thinking it might be the Panthers.
How What? How so? You got a team that this is from an anonymous NFL executive, Drapes.
Could or could not be John Lynch.
This is from The Athletic. Quote, I like the 49ers. There's less dysfunction going on, you know? I don't expect Philly to magically turn it on. And as good as Fangio and their defense is, I feel like what happened to the 49ers against Seattle was an aberration. Philly's going to have to score points, and I'm not sure they'll be able to do that. End quote. Your thoughts?
So one man's opinion, I'm supposed to be like, ooh, pack it up, go home right now. When is the game, by the way? Do you guys?
Sunday, 1:30.
1:30.
Yes,
Let me check the forecast, if you will.
Yeah, I am a little worried about the weather.
Nah, actually Sunday is just cloudy and 50.
Oh, that's a smoke out. That's
good thing they're not playing Saturday. 90% chance of rain on Saturday, and we know Brock Purdy can't deal with any drizzle or anything like that. You know why I say it's the worst matchup, fellas?
Why?
The Eagles' defense is legit, and we just saw what the Seattle defense did to this awesome Niners offense that put up 40-something points on a Swiss cheese defense in Chicago and Indianapolis. Like, come on, man. Like, there's levels to this. Jay knows it. Whitey, you know it. Listeners know it. You got a championship team versus a team hanging on by a thread. The Niners are put together with paper mache. Soon as it rains, that thing will fall apart out there.
But
so
it's not going to rain.
It's
not going to rain on Sunday. No rain.
As a matter of fact, I might see if we get some staples and paper clips.
That's right.
It should be a good game. But, I like my boys in this game. We saw what they did at Buffalo, going up into Buffalo and beating Buffalo the way they did. Obviously, this last week is a throwaway because they didn't play their starters. And so I actually like where my team is right now.
Drapes, do you think, just your opinion, do you think that the Eagles decided yesterday, okay, we're just going to rest our guys? Or was part of that, hey, we're gonna rest our guys and then we're going to end up playing San Francisco?
Honestly, I think they were afraid of potentially matching up with the Rams. That's because if I'm correct, the Rams might have still been in play, if you will. That's the one team in a wild card matchup I didn't want to face. I think when you look at the Niners,
y'all running,
and I know their defense was bend don't break, but that defense is pretty bad right now. Let's call it what it is, Jay. The defense can't get it done right now.
They don't have any linebackers. They almost literally are just pulling guys off the street to play linebacker.
Yeah. And so, the lineup, the offensive line versus the Niners defensive line. Don't let Saquon get to that second level. Who's going to make the stop? So I'm not worried about it. We could talk football all week if you want. If you want me on as a special Eagles correspondent all week, I can make some time for you.
Oh, no, we definitely need to see you Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we definitely need to see you Friday. You ain't doing nothing, man. Come on, man. You ain't got but another job over there anyway.
Hey, the beauty about my job with the Kings, and shout out to Kings Kingdom. Tomorrow's a nationally televised game, fellas. So me, Mark, and Katie don't have to work.
Yeah.
Our next working
is
Friday against Golden State. So I'm playing golf, hitting the gym. I'm gonna go see my boy Lim tomorrow. I'm getting my mind right for this weekend, Niners Eagles.
I gotta say, Drapes, I saw you. When you guys played Boston, you didn't see me, but we were, hey, there's Drapes. I thought that was one of the highlights of the year that night, and it was before the game when the 9-year-old sang the national anthem. There's not a lot of great things going on with the Kings this year, but I'm serious. I don't know if you paid attention. The little 9-year-old girl that sang the national anthem on New Year's Day, she was incredible, Drapes. She knocked it out of the park.
No, she was amazing. And I need to holler at somebody over at the Kings because these last few games, they've had kids singing the national anthem. Last night, they had like an 11-year-old or something sing the national anthem. And these kids are doing a bang-up job. So much so, fellas, I looked up in the stands. I'm like, how these kids remembering the words? Do they got a teleprompter up there to help? Because I would think that stage fright would come in, But no, they're doing a bang-up job, man. I shout out to them, man. I talked to Quinn. I'm like, Quinn, you should try that out. And she gave me a look like, nope, I ain't doing that. So
no way.
No, those kids are doing great. Man.
Yeah. So the youth movement has at least started, Jay, when it comes to the national anthem singers. What do you think, Drapes, of the news today? That, first of all, Trae Young's people are working with the Hawks on a deal. And now we've got word from Mark Stein that the Wizards may be in the mix. What are you have any thoughts on that?
Well, let me say this. I actually like Trae Young as a player. I think, Trae Young is a good – remember, a couple of years ago, they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, with Trae Young leading the way. With that being said, as far as the Kings are concerned, for me, as much as I like him, he doesn't fit my timeline right now. We need, in my opinion, I want a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old, a 19-year-old, somebody for the next 10 years to be our guy. I'm not saying Trae Young is old, but to me, Trae Young is a guy that if you're close to being a contender, you get him, he puts you over the top. We bring Trae Young here, we still got a lot of holes. We talk about defense, right? Our holes defensively. So I like the player. I just don't know if the timeline for me fits what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. But looking up his deal, he's on a player option next year for almost $49 million. It's kind of, I think, and it's just, I could be completely wrong, you might be able to spin off a deal or two that may be a little difficult, a little more harder to move if you accept Trae Young, who's a distressed asset, no doubt about it. Like, for whatever reason in Atlanta, it's just not working right now. And maybe he doesn't fit their timeline as well at this point with Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels and so on and so forth. Maybe he comes here and you just have him for the rest of the year and you let him walk, compared to Zach is – same thing kind of next year. DeMar partially guaranteed. You have some bigger deals that's still around. I don't know. And if nothing else, and I know we're down at the bottom of the barrel, fellas. If nothing else, he at least brings a pinch of excitement for the rest of the season. Like, okay, I'll go see Trae. Compared to, you know what? No disrespect, Dylan Cardwell, but I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
What's his contract? Is it a player option?
He's got a player option.
This season and then a player option.
And then a player option
the
next
rest
year.
of this year and then next season, player
and then
option.
Next season is the player option.
Yeah.
And I was reading, I forget who posted it, whether it's Shams or Mark Stein. Somebody hypothesized that the Hawks would actually have to maybe attach a pick also.
Oh, man.
To get rid of Trae Young. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Like if you're the Kings, you're not giving up all these assets for a half-year rental. If I'm going to take them off your hands, I need something else too. I need a sweetener too, to do it. So maybe that could be, the thought process if they decide to do that.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Drapes. And, I know you're limited as to what you can say about some of these things.
Yeah.
But given that it looks like the Kings might have to add sweeteners to move some of their bigger contracts, and given that, they don't want to give up anything of value, I don't think it's out of the question that come the deadline, the roster looks pretty much like it does now. And I think some fans, if it comes to that, would have a difficult time. But I think Scott Perry's going to be opportunistic and prudent, and he's not going to get rid of anybody just to, shake things up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Especially like you said, if you have to attach a sweetener, a pick to get rid of certain guys, I wouldn't want to do that. And honestly, I think it's probably more of a likelihood that no big deal happens at the trade deadline. But let me say this, though. Let me say this about fans, Whitey and Jay. And I know I always get in trouble going at the fans, but you got a segment of the fan base that wants the team to lose. And then when they lose, they get mad at the team for losing. You know what I mean? It's like, hold up. You wanted the team to struggle. You wanted a high draft pick. That's actually happening. And now you're yelling and criticizing Doug and the coaches and the players for losing. Like, it's kind of it's from my vantage point, and I said this during post game yesterday, I feel for Doug because you could tell this stuff is eating him alive. The losing is killing him. And, from a fan standpoint too, it's been a hard watch, 1 minute when we went on that, 27-9 run or whatever it was, 29-7 run. 1 minute we look decent. And then the next is like, we look like five guys that was just thrown together. And so I get the frustrations about that, man. And, Scott Perry, you see him sitting behind the bench all the time, to be inside of his head. What is he thinking, with the trade deadline now, a month away? It's been tough, man. It's tough on the players, tough on the coaches. Like, I don't think anybody having fun right now. It's tough right now.
Drapes, and kind of let me piggyback on what you and Whitey are talking about. And Whitey was talking about, albeit the idea came from Alan Stiles, which is, blew my mind right there. But the fact that there's a notion that the Kings won't do anything. And when I mean anything, and I told Whitey, I said, I truly believe that nothing major may happen, but I would expect, and hopefully it happens, that at least Scott works around the edges in some form or fashion and trims the fat in something. And I don't know if that comes in a buyout or some form of whatever. what happens if this team does nothing? Because I told Whitey I think they revolt. Like, fans revolt if you do nothing.
You know, I think it depends on the offseason, Jay, to be honest with you. Fans will be upset, no doubt about it. But you look at DeMar's contract, partially guaranteed next season. My thing is, if you're the Kings, you can't make a move just to appease the fans and make a move. You can't give away a guy for 10 cents on the dollar. I mean, it's and I know it's frustrating right now, but when you look at this season at 8-28 or whatever it is right now, something like that, no matter what move you make, it ain't going to help you this season anyway, Jay. You ain't going to, what move would you make that would change and turn this thing around 180, And I know you said on the margin, something small, and that may happen, but I think fans want to see a vision for the future, man. I think they want to see which direction are we really going to. So to me, that's what they would be frustrated about if the team doesn't make a move. It's like, well, then what the hell are we? Where are we going with this? Like, we still don't know the plan, if you will. And so that to me would be the frustration. It's not about go out there and get this guy right now or go out there. It's about, and Whitey, you talked about it a couple of years ago, when you said Monty McNair should give a state of the organization, tell us the plan, and I think that's what fans want to hear.
But Drake, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Scott Perry's doing interviews, Jay.
No, but this is the difference. See, I've said repeatedly that I got nothing but love for Scott Perry because he's way more accessible and he's coming out and talking. But just as Whitey is saying, and it's no disrespect to Scott Perry because I don't expect him to tell us nothing. He ain't said nothing.
I think he is, Jay. He's saying the same thing over and over, but I think he's telling us what's
the plan on. But yes. Is he telling us, okay.
He's telling us we're rebuilding. We're not taking shortcuts. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Doug is too. I mean, listen to the word. It hasn't been manifested. We aren't seeing the moves just yet.
Yeah.
But when they talk about Kings basketball, the standards that they have, to me, that signals the guys that aren't living up to that standard, they're on their short term, so I feel like he is saying something without saying something.
But I do think
he's not being specific.
Yeah, pardon me, Drapes. I do think if they are able to make a move, that is another great opportunity to further explain. As you said, you're not going to bring in anybody that's going to turn this season around.
No.
But I think fans know that, but they would love to get, a big contract, big name out for an asset, a future asset, be it a young player or draft picks. I think they would embrace that. So they're not expecting anybody to turn around this year. If and when that happens, and we know it may not because it depends on the other team. But I think that would be a great opportunity to just, hey, here's why we made this trade, and this is what we like about it, and just to kind of further explain to people, clarify where it's all going. But we'll see.
Let me ask you guys this then. Do you think if Scott doesn't make a trade, he's saying, all right, I'm happy with the roster? Like, don't you think he's trying to make moves?
Yes.
And to your point, Whitey, it takes two to tango.
We're
not just giving away guys, Jay, just to give away guys. And so to me, if nothing happens, that signals the offers weren't where we wanted them to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's it right there, because Scott even said it on the show with you guys. They're on the phone, they're making calls, they're talking to people. And so if it doesn't get done, that means it wasn't to Scott's liking. Like the offers that we got back for whoever we're talking about wasn't what we wanted.
The tricky thing, I think, Drapes and Jay, and dear listener, is for Scott Perry to try to reframe expectations. And to his credit, he tried to do it when he was on here.
Mm-hmm.
When we talked about, December 15th's coming. And he said, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah.
But he may be damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the only way he can make a trade is to attach assets, if he does that, you don't get anything back, people are going to go, that's a terrible trade. If he doesn't do anything, people are going to say, what's wrong with him? So he's in a really difficult situation here where this may partly be about just trying to reestablish and where this all is with fans. And don't expect me, perhaps, is what he's trying to get at. You can't expect me to make a big move, that big move that's going to turn it all around in one fell swoop. It's just not there to be made right now.
Well, look at it. I mean, here we are in January 5th, and 2-3 weeks after December 15th, ain't nothing happened. Ain't nothing happened league-wide. Ain't nobody been moved. And so, I think, this next month around the league, now you got Trae Young and his reps trying to, orchestrate a deal. Things will start to happen. But, to your point about Scott tempering the expectations a little bit, I get it. But here's the thing, though, fellas. Here's the thing. We know Scott's a competitor. We know Doug's a competitor. It has to be eating them alive to see this team struggle. And so this is and other teams know it too. And so you don't want to make a move out of desperation, out of frustration. We've seen that happen before, right? With the organization. You still got to be mindful, prudent, as Scott likes to say, to be level-headed. You can't just be reactionary, and so I'm going to give him this trade deadline. I want to see what the offseason looks like. Because to me, I don't know if we, are still giving Scott an incomplete or to be determined or what. But the real big moves in which he'll ultimately judge by haven't come yet. This offseason was sort of a stopgap. Let me just get some bodies in here, see what we can conjure up. In terms of building the sustainable success that he's talked about, we haven't seen those moves yet.
Where are you with Nick Clifford's game right now? We know Maxime Reynaud is, to this point, he's exceeded expectations. Yeah. Who knows where he's going to end up, but it's like, wow, it's been great. Nick has been a little up and down. He certainly had his moments. Where are you with the way he's playing right now?
One of the things I said the other day, about a week or so ago on a pregame show, is I'm going to see a stretch of games where Nick just scores double figures. He ain't got to go off. He ain't got to get 25, but just be a little more consistent. I'm starting to see that. It's tough for him, man. One thing I'm noticing, and I don't know if you guys have noticed it also, Nick probably needs to add some muscle. Going against a Jaylen Brown and some of these other guys, like these NBA guys look strong, physical. And so I see Nick trying to adjust to the physicality. That's why he's had some foul trouble at times. I also think, and this is just me from the eye test, he's still trying to figure out his position. This is a guy that's used to having the ball in his hands, right? Now he's playing off the ball. And so I think he's going through some rookie growing pains right now, to be honest with you. But you see some flashes at times.
Yep.
When they went on that run last night, he was on the floor. He was one of the guys out there. And I think that's why fans are clamoring for, give me 25, 30, 35 minutes of Nick. Let these young boys run and play so we can see what they can do. But, I've seen flashes from Nick. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm. Drapes, one of the things that we've kind of talked about is and me and Whitey were having this conversation a little earlier, is the utilization of so many different starting lineups this year. It feels like I forgive me because I've forgotten track now, but at one point in time it was around 12, a dozen.
I think we're up to 18.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Draper. I'm glad you're doing your job there, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough to get into a habit, and this, Whitey, and a lot of listeners know this. When you talk to athletes, a lot of time, one of their big gripes is knowing day in, day out routine. How much time am I playing? When am I coming into the game? What trainer's rubbing on my back? What shoes am I wearing? And we just haven't been able to see that this year with the Kings. Are you how are you feeling? What's the feel around the team? Has anybody kind of, come to you and say, Drace, man, I came in the third minute versus the 8th minute. Have you gotten any of that the connotation from anybody?
Nothing like that since earlier this season, like those first 3 weeks of the season. But to your point, it's clear we know how athletes are. They're creatures of habit, right? If you're a Malik Monk and all right, at the 6th minute every day, I'm going to come in, he going to be ready?
Yeah.
You know, I do feel like it's been a challenge. I mean, not just for the players, coaches. Like I said, I don't think anybody's having fun and happy right now. It's a mess right now in terms of trying to get that. And now you got Keegan Murray, who's going to be out, which looks like for some time too. Like they just can't get a sustainable unit out there. It's tough, man. I don't know what to say about the starting lineups. You know, I was thinking earlier today, they missed Domantas Sabonis immensely. And I know if Domas played, you know, he needs the ball and everything like that. But just for continuity's sake, like, can we go 2 to 3 weeks with a full roster, same starting lineup, and see what they can do? And so you know what it looks like at times, fellas. We've all played pickup ball. And we've all seen that one team that is winning 3, 4, 5 games in a row because they've been together. They figured it out. What we're looking at right now is a team that looks like, you know, from game to game, they're being thrown together. They're not playing together. And so it's been a tough watch, man. I thought last night the comeback, I was like, all right, we got something. And then just like that, we gave it away. It's just tough sledding going right now, man. It's tough. And we on national TV tomorrow, fellas.
Yeah.
We got Dallas on national TV tomorrow with Anthony Davis back, mind you. We didn't have AD last time the Mavericks came to town. And so this will be a tough one tomorrow against Cooper Flag.
All right. We appreciate it as always. Happy New Year. Did you have anything about your New Year's celebration that you can share with us?
No, dude. Whitey, I'm a 50-year-old single father of 2, big fella.
Don't say it like that, man. You got to give some hope to the people, baby.
I'll tell you what, it was so bad. So Quinn had a party. She went to her little girlfriend's party, and the party ended at 10. I took a nap from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., woke up, went and got Quinn, came back. Nick went to bed at like 11:30. Quinn and I stayed up till about 12:02 and then went to sleep.
There you go.
Those days are over, big fella.
Geez, man. Whitey didn't even raise a toast at 12. He was asleep. He was tucked in the sheets.
Sleeping?
Yes.
Hey, man, it's amateur hour. Dog, when you've been through 50 of them like me and Whitey have, what's another year, right?
It's a blessing, man. What do you mean what's another year?
I don't need to be watching Carson Daly or Anderson Cooper or whoever. Man, I'll tell you what. I did watch some of the festivities in turn. The TV shows, the countdown shows have gotten worse.
Yeah, they're bad. They're
terrible now, man. They're terrible. So, nah, man. And Quinn was watching Stranger Things. So, nah, man, we were good. We were chill.
Man.
Yeah. All right. We appreciate it. Yeah. Well,
all right, fellas.
Enjoy the nationally televised game. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Rapes.
All right. Talk to you guys.
Yeah. Sacramento's #1 Philadelphia Eagles fan, Kyle Draper. He said some interesting things there. When we come back, Kings will be busy on the court this month. Are they going to be busy at all off the court? Next on Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kohl's new clearance markdowns are intense. Up to 70% off is the kind of deal that'll leave you feeling stunned and make you whisper things like, "Where have you been my whole life?" to a cardigan. Just take a deep breath, steady your cart, and try to act normal. But it's not possible. The savings are just too good. Shop new clearance markdowns now in-store and online at Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
I don't know whether you remember this, but 1999, after the lockout, that was the year the Kings came to prominence with C-Webb and J. Will and Vlade. And one of the cool things about that year, they only played, 50 games?
56.
55, 50
Somewhere around there,
whatever
yeah.
it was, yeah. The interesting thing was, the cool thing was, once they got started, because they had the lockout, it wiped out the early part of the season. Once they got going, they were playing almost every other night. And it was, as a fan, it was fun, especially because they were playing so well, especially late in the year. It's kind of similar the rest of this month. The Kings they played 3 games this month. They have 14 more this month. This is their busiest month of the year. Most games this calendar month than any other month of the year. So they play Dallas Tuesday, then the Warriors Friday. Then they also play on January 11th, 12th, 14th, 16th, 18th, 20th, 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th, and 30th. They got a lot of games left. So they're going to be very busy on the court. Are they going to be very busy off the court? Of course, the trade deadline will follow that rash of games into February. And Jay, we've been talking about it a lot today about how, they may not be able to do anything. And don't take this the wrong way. I appreciate Kyle Draper and his forthrightness. And after talking to him, as we just did, I'm much more convinced that there's a very good chance the Kings ain't going to be able to get anything done.
Man, you let the Eagle fan come in here and move your positioning?
Well, all he said was, he just was very honest about it and says, they may not, if they have to attach assets to move things, there's a very good chance they won't move things.
So then we'll just have a returning theme next year, because technically the only person that's going to move for the most part would be DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, maybe they get some things done in the offseason. And then, the focus will be in the offseason presumably on the draft pick. I hope they're able to move things, because I don't think it's an ideal situation in which to develop young players. If you still have guys that are, as Scott Perry said, we want volunteers, not hostages. Right now they got a lot of hostages.
Yeah, they do.
They got a lot of them.
Yeah, they do. I understand and I get it. And that's why I said what you piggybacked on Alan's topic is there might not be anything done because there's no room or no want to get it done from other teams, right?
Nothing beneficial could be done, perhaps.
And I'm with that. But I think it's the same portion of it's the same move that I talk about with the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan is you have to get a little creative. And I know that's easier said than done. I'm not by all means. And I'm not also saying that it has to happen by the deadline, by trade deadline, February 5th. What I'm saying is one or two things, and Drape's even kind of talked about it, is the State of the Union, which is something that I've consistently talked about. And for whatever reason, for me, I'm okay with it being Scott Perry and the coach. But I'm saying I'm removing myself as media. I'm removing myself from, or I'm putting myself in other people's shoes here in the kingdom. A lot of Kings fans and other media believe Scott Perry is not checking all the boxes himself. So if you're going to have a State of the Union, you need to have everyone lock in step. That's not going to happen. And that's why I say it sounds good. It's just as, I guess, let me just make it simple. I'm going to simplify it for you so we can make it easy. In one hand, we're talking about there may not be anything done because just may not.
Beneficial deals.
Nothing beneficial,
made, perhaps,
right?
Yeah.
And we're okay with that. And we're okay with that because Scott Perry has said, look, I'm trying to get things done. We're trying to manipulate. We're trying to make something out of nothing, and it's not there. And then in the same hand, on the other hand, we have a lot of people saying, yeah, that's cool. And we've heard that for the longest. But until the ownership group or until everyone in the Kings organization comes out together and says exactly what Scott Perry is saying, then I'm not believing nothing.
No, I understand that.
And so
completely.
that's and for you, but I'm saying, speaking as a fan, removing myself, how can I now, putting myself back into this position, how can I continue to be here every single day and say, you know what? I'm giving all the love to Scott Perry, which I am saying that. Nothing but love, because unlike some of his predecessors, he's talking. He's doing stories. He's taking interviews. He's coming on the Drive Guys. But also, it's a catch-22. It's like what Drake was kind of trying to work his way through. I'm a hypocrite if I'm not also saying, listen, fans also want to hear from the ownership group and Scott Perry together.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the coaches.
I've been saying, I'm with you on that.
And so as a fan, that's where I'm thinking, and that's where I'm thinking out loud and saying, well, yeah, for Jay, to speak third person, Aaron Rodgers style, I'm okay with Scott Perry because I trust in Scott Perry talking and I believe what he says. But there's a lot of other fans, probably majority, and a lot of the NBA circle and a lot of media, they don't care. They're not trying to hear that.
Yeah, you're like Ricky. Ricky used to talk about Ricky. Like
Ricky, right.
All Ricky's asked, people you say, all I'm asking for is what I deserve. Ricky said, all I'm asking for is what I want. So anyway, I agree with you. I think that there may be a better time for that. Just trying to give a benefit of the doubt. I agree with you.
Yep.
Maybe people are waiting till there is the first significant move. If you move one of the big names, now things have started. The talk ends and the action begins. That would be a good time to address some of these things as an organization. I also think, just as we say that Coach Christie is in a difficult situation, there's only so much he can say because of some of these decisions are not necessarily his doing. And some people say, well, if he's not in charge, well, what's wrong with that? That's the nature of being a coach or a manager in sports these days. There's also this from Scott Perry's standpoint, in my opinion. Scott Perry, I'm sure, would like to come out and say, let's say they don't make any deals, and hopefully they do. If they don't, he can't come out, Jay, and say, I couldn't make any deals because these guys that I inherited, nobody wants them.
No, you can't say that.
Right?
Definitely can't say that.
Although that would be perhaps the truth. These guys are good players, but they're overpaid for where they are, so I couldn't move them. So he can't say that.
No.
So his hands are tied too. Again, if it comes to that.
Which is, for me, it's tough because we're talking semantics, but
yeah,
that pushes the narrative of the percentage of people who are like, you can't make any moves, and coach can't make any moves. And yeah, it's the situation that he has been put in. But you know good and goddamn well, what's going to happen? They're going to be, the ownership group is pulling the strings, and that's why something couldn't happen. And that's the toughest part. And that's why I said the State of the Union is something we all need. I think as fans, part of the kingdom, it would look fantastic. Because if nothing else, the one thing you can definitely take is a person by face value. If you tell me something, that's what I'm going to believe. Even though in the back of my mind, I ain't really feeling that. Or I may not believe it, but at least I have to respect it and take it as that's the word right now. And if you show or do anything different, guess what? Now you leave the door open for somebody to say, man, that's not what you told me. And that's how this season has started. Because truly, Coach Christie came out saying, well, we want to play D and we want people that's going to be here that's going 110%. And, we start on the defensive side. And then what happened? You could tell. Hey, look, you wasn't pulling all the strings, and
that wasn't what you keep saying you want. You
right.
ain't getting it.
Exactly.
It's not happening.
So now it opened up the door, Whitey, for that majority, that high percentage, that group of people to say, here we go again. Mm-hmm. We've been told something by the coach, by the general manager, the president, but we're not seeing that. Why? What? So is Doug lying to us? Is Scott Perry telling us stories? We're trying to figure it out.
Right. Conversation will continue. We'll also get to the phones. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Are the Kings going to be able to get anything done at the deadline? We're back with more of that next on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers!
Every game on your number one sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
At Big O, our ProTech Plus warranty offers free flat repairs, replacements, and roadside assistance, so tire trouble is no trouble at all. Now through January 25th, get $80 to $120 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nitto, Cooper, Nexen, or Sumitomo brand tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Welcome to the Bar None Auction. Bar None Auction is selling thousands of items this Saturday, January 10th in Sacramento. Large farming and construction equipment, cars, trucks, and industrial supplies all sold to the highest bidder. Always open to the public. Visit barnoneauction.com.
600. So.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
James Dolan, who runs the Knicks, apparently he's very enthused about the job that Mike Brown has done there. I think it's great for Mike Brown. James Dolan says the Knicks can win the finals as constructed. the deadline coming up, we can win the finals as constructed. Will the Kings will they be as constructed after the deadline? We're going to get back into that in just a moment here. First, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Kind of giddy here. It's the first time all year we've presented an edition of Check It!
Mic check.
With TC. Happy New Year, TC. What's up?
Man, Happy New Year, Whitey, Jay, man, my dudes, man. Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Tough loss for your Niners on Saturday, TC.
Yeah, man, but I mean, you got the boy genius, right, and you got the real deal, so they got to get it done. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
We ain't going to go too much into that.
TC been keeping it real cordial about Shanahan all season. I see you working.
hey, so look, check it out. So what I got for the Kings, right? This thing can, not rushing it, but this thing can get built in real quick. And I'm going to stick to trying to trade back into the mid-round, right? So I'm thinking we trying to move on for the veterans, right? And if we can't, we gotta wait for the offseason, whatever it is. I think the backup plan to that are just majority. You have to try to get another first-round pick in this stacked draft. You can do a deal with OKC if you got to say next year and some other draft capital. You can do that because right now we still have 2 second-round picks this year. We slated at 34 and 37. So that's about 4 picks that you can pick and throw with the young group that you got right now and move forward, right, to speed this process up and get a bunch of young cats in here, right? Or you can visit the JK situation, right? And he can, listen, it's things you can do. But my main point of this whole conversation, Jay and Whitey and Kings fans, is Perry, listen, you have to try to trade with OKC and get a mid-first round pick. 2 first-round picks in this draft. It's nasty. The pick at our top 5 pick is AJ or Caleb. Period. I love Cam and I love Peterson. Nothing against them, but them ain't the picks. It's either AJ or Caleb. And then you go for a guard or you try to get the boy. But, hey, have you checked that boy out, Jay? Nikolai from Virginia Tech?
I haven't. I have not yet.
That's the guy that we can check out.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, that's the pick. Think about that, Whitey. AJ or Caleb Wilson. That's all I got, y'all. Perry, trade for that mid-first round, bro. We need 2 first-round picks in this draft. I'm telling you, the process could be sped up before people think about it. That's all I got.
Thank you, TC. I've been saying that for a while. I'm with you. If there's any way to get another first-round pick in this draft, if there's any way of doing that, it would be time to think about replacing the stupid piglet thing with a statue of Scott Perry. I don't care who he drafts if he can do that. Yeah, and I'm sure he recognizes that. Boy, I'm hoping against hope against that. It's just that the more we think about it and talk about it, and talking to Drapes, who obviously is very well versed in what's going on here, we may have to just kind of stay patient when it comes to bringing in new players and wait for the draft, Jay.
Yeah, listening to you and Drapes now, man, and
it's not a happy thought,
you're
is it?
detouring me here, brother. I'm trying to think positive and have glass full. I just truly, truly hope there is something done, and it doesn't have to be of, a 7.1 on the Richter scale, a huge magnitude, but I think you have to move accordingly to allow the fans to exhale a little bit and also get a better understanding, where you're going, or like you said, a little more clarity, a little more clearance of where things are going, So that's the way I would love to see it happen. If you can get 2 draft picks, first rounders, and this draft, which everybody's talking about, is loaded.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a move.
To be honest, I have a hard time seeing how the Kings could offer anybody anything that would prompt them to say, "Ooh, yeah, we'll give you a first for that."
Yeah. Really, I think it's Malik, and we don't know his value. And for me, it'd be if you were really thinking about moving Domas.
Yeah,
which I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know that's
I think could give you your best shot.
Yeah, I mean Keegan for sure, but they don't want to move on Keegan.
Right.
From all the whispers that we've heard, the options that are movable, for me it'd be Domas. I think you'd be able to get maybe 1, 2.
What kind of year do you think Keegan's had so far this year?
You have to give him some leeway because he's been banged up and he's banged up now. But as you said a little earlier in the show, I'm probably not the best person to ask that. And I'll leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's at a typical Keegan year.
I was a little surprised today when I looked this up. And I know that it can be a little misleading when you look at shot attempts because you have, say, Westbrook. His shot attempts when he's a starter are much, much higher than when he was coming off the bench.
Sure.
But I believe Keegan is second on the Kings this year in shot attempts per game. It's LaVine and then Keegan. And that surprised me. That's good.
Yep.
I think he's at, what, about 14? I have it right here. Pardon me. He's at 13.6 a game.
Okay.
So that's good. That's trending in the right direction. Wouldn't hurt to see him shoot a little more. He's at 14.6 points per game.
Where's Zach at as far as shot?
Yeah, let
shot
me just
attempts?
check that. He's a little higher than that, I
Okay.
think. It'll take me just a second here, Jay. But the thing about Keegan is, and hopefully it's because he's been hurt, he's not shooting the ball well at all, especially by his standards. And his three-point shooting, that's one thing we thought we knew about him. And I still think we do know about him is like, wow, he's a good three-point shooter, and he's shown signs of being an excellent three-point shooter. And this year he's shooting 27%. But to answer your question, not to get lost in the numbers here, but field goal attempts per game, Keegan Murray at 13.6 per game is second on the team to Zach LaVine at 14.6.
Not a lot. No
Right.
one's really dominating the shot attempts.
Yeah, Domas 13.2, DeMar 13.1, Westbrook 12.7. But I think if you look at Russ just as a starter, I could crunch the numbers on this. I think those numbers would trend a little higher.
Yeah.
But Keegan's doing a lot of nice things, but he's shooting 43% overall, 27% from threes, and that's just he needs to shoot better than that.
Yeah.
If he's going to be anything close to a special player, which I still believe he can be, he's got to be shooting at least like 35, 36%. That for him is probably too low from three. 27% is like, yeah, and I think that's got to be because he's been hurt.
What's a good sweet spot, just off the top of your head and your knowledge and being around the game and coaching and playing, what's a sweet spot you think for a top player on a team in the NBA right now? For you, like, what would you say? I kind of need my guy to shoot this amount of times.
Well, it depends on so many things.
Sure.
But
a lot of factors. I get it.
Yeah. I'll just say for Keegan, I still think that number should be higher. I think that gives you your best chance of A, developing him, and B, letting you see what he can do.
Do you have a number for Keegan?
I like to see him at least getting up like 15 a game, which
15 a
now would
game.
be the highest on the team, I know.
Okay.
But I'm hoping as things get a little more clear and maybe you move off of some of the bigger name players and higher paid players and maybe you're taking more shots, maybe you can focus more. And look,
Right.
a lot of this is about development. And Keegan, we think you can be the guy. Let's see. We're going to give you every chance to develop.
Yeah. I'll start here.
What do you think?
Let me give you some of these numbers real fast because this is a little interesting. At least I find it interesting. You say 15. I pull it up, looking at guys who's pulling up 15 a game. I'll start at 14-8. Got Trey Murphy at third, Scotty Barnes, Karl Anthony Towns. That's 14-9, 14-8, 14-8. CJ, now we're in 15s. CJ McCollum, Cooper Flagg at 15-1, Cam Thomas 15.2, LBJ 15.4, Desmond Bain 15.5, Paolo Banchero 15.6, Julius Randle 15.6, Derek White 15.8, Nickeil Alexander-Walker 15.8, Franz Wagner 15.9, and then it kicks up to Anthony Davis, who's at 16.2. So we're talking about LeBron's OG. You got Cam Thomas, Cooper Flagg, who's a rookie, his team, CJ McCollum, Desmond Bain, Paolo Banchero, Julius Randle, Derek White. Anything just jump off the page? Is there anything you can assimilate some of these numbers to when it comes to Keegan?
Just for me, the more you say that, the more I feel good about that number for him going forward.
Yeah. I think we're kind of
Shea probably like 21 a game or something.
Ty Maxey leads the league. Let's see. Ty is at 22.7 a game. Shea is at 19.7.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he got 68 free throws a game.
Yeah.
Leading the league, you got Luka, 22 and some change. Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brown, all those guys, 21. Donovan Mitchell, 21. Then it comes down to Cade Cunningham, 20, Steph, 20, 8, Anthony Edwards, 19-8, 19-7, Lauri Markkanen, and Kawhi. You know, we're getting into stratosphere guys now.
And some of those guys get to the line a lot, and that actually they don't count as field goal attempts. Again, I think with Keegan, I need to see
Drive, guys.
Yes, if he can handle that load and if he can make the most of it, and I need to help him develop, and I need to see. I'm still evaluating what I have here, and I think he could be a special player, but as we've been saying every year, you know, you start to get to a point where it's like, at some point you got to see it.
That's who you are.
We can see it this year.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of this rest of the season's about.
I think he's going to get a pass again for most of the season because of the state of the Kings and being hurt. That's for me. I think he's, we'll give him a pass one more time, but I think the conversation has to be had, and it's not so much as being disrespectful or trying to bring the value down of Keegan, but it's also okay to say kind of just what you said on the back end of that is that's just who he really is. And those numbers, for me, 15 a game would look perfect if Keegan will pull up 15. Now, he got Zach, he got DeMar, he's got Schroeder, he's got Monk. I get that. But when you also look at some of those other names that's above him, you have to start to look around and say, these guys are really pressing the issue in the envelope to be the guy. And that just may not be Keegan's realm. That may not be his space. And so that's okay. It really is. It's all right for him to be Keegan who he is, but I think as collectively, the organization is going to have to figure that out sooner rather than later. That's just me.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of what the rest of this year is going to be about.
I think so.
You're not trying to win games. You got to get something done.
Hey, man, I need you to be on the court.
Yeah, we'll be with you a little bit later tomorrow. We'll start our normal time. We'll be with you a little bit later because we have the late start for the Peacock game. Thanks for being with us. Happy New Year. Stick around. Westwood One Sports Radio is next. Ooh, that sounds interesting on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available.